Happy Monday, huh?
TGIM.
You know the audio caught your voice, right?
Now everybody knows you're here.
Everybody knows you're here. Happy Monday, everybody. TGIM. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
And my cigar went out.
The cigar
I
went
guess
out.
if you don't suck it long enough, it goes out. Oh, man.
Is that how it works?
What? That's how the cigar is, no?
Oh, okay. That just sounds very vulgar the way you would say it.
Sorry.
So here's, okay, as you guys know, every Monday we go live. We talk about current events, but we also do pre-recordings as well with guests. And at 5 p.m. today, well, not at 5 p.m., at 6 p.m. we went live.
We went recorded.
Or we recorded, yeah. At 6 p.m. we began to record.
Yeah.
We recorded.
Yeah.
And, and the conversation went on. So, I mean, it was back and forth. We were having such a good time that we decided, we're like, you know what? We're doing a home team tonight. Might as well have our guest continue to join us. So this is literally going to be a 2-part episode. And this is part 2.
Or part one, essentially. This is the sequel. Or prequel.
Yeah. We're basically doing Star Wars status. We're starting with episode 4, 5, and 6, and then we're going to jump to 1, 2, and 3.
So this is the prequel.
Yes, seriously. But obviously, we want everybody to share this, like, comment, whether you're watching on Rumble, Kick, X, YouTube, share the live, and jump in the comments if you guys would like. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, but Hussein is here with us. We want to thank Hussein for continuing to join us, man. Let's put the mic in front of you. How about that?
Oh, sorry. Here you go.
You totally forgot that you're on the podcast again, did you?
Technology.
Technology. So we literally sat down with you for 2 hours, man, and we're like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just continue on. But let's start with this. This is the one thing we didn't cover in the last episode. The last gorilla. We didn't even talk about that.
Okay. So this is what the name is. Am I good with the mic?
Yeah, everything looks good.
And so the name comes from, in part, it's going to surprise people, Netanyahu. Remember when Netanyahu says there's an 8th front war, and the 8th front is the digital front?
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have Sayyid Ali Khamenei in Iran before his Shahada, in which he said the people protesting in America are considered his comrades. And so even Sayyid Hassan in Lebanon understands that Zionism will fall not through weaponry, not through warfare, but it'll fall culturally. And it'll fall through a consciousness and a wide awakening. So the last guerrilla is guerrilla warfare, but in the space that is being had today, which is online. So the landscape is digital. The landscape is what you guys are doing. What you guys are bringing awareness to what's threatening American sovereignty is Zionism. And so the last guerrilla, what I feel like we're doing, we're a part of this guerrilla warfare in the modern way, in the digital landscape, not in the jungles or in the deserts. So that's the idea. The last guerrilla. Where I took it from initially, though, it was my brother's COD name for Call of Duty. And I just liked it. And then that's the way I understood it. So I took it from him. So I'm not creative enough to come with a name, but that's the understanding I had of it. And so that's what I moved with.
So the last gorilla.
The last gorilla.
Interesting. And you got apparel and stuff for it.
Yeah, I have a few on the Etsy website. I have me and my friend, we designed a few things and we put them up there. And the link is underneath my Instagram bio. For anyone that likes it, they can check it out. And the back of this one, there's a picture of the Looney Tunes because this world is a bit loony and it's a bit cartoonish. And I feel like we live in a hallucination. We live in this Professor Jang, he made this term, collective fantasy. And a lot of it is just a lie and a lot of it is delusional. Theatrics. And so that's why I have the Looney Tunes image on the back.
Professor Jang is the guy who blocked us?
Yeah, he is. I don't know why.
Blocked you guys?
We don't know why.
Why would you do that?
Bro, all we did was we sent him an invite. We said, we'd love to have you on if we need to set up any sort of like flight arrangements. Because, you know, if somebody can't make it or if they don't want to fly out or anything like that, we try to accommodate as much as we can, whether it's in person or they fly out, or we try to do something for them to just make it work, especially if they're like high profile, you know? But bro, we sent this guy the invite, boom, blocked us.
That's
like,
right
away. Very weird. Very
You know what
strange.
that could be? I heard him on a podcast talking about how there was an online attack on him. And maybe you guys messaged him when he felt like he was going through that. So he thought maybe you guys were setting up for something. Because I heard him say he was also invited to Patrick Bet-David. And after a few exchanges, he felt like he was being invited to be undermined. And so he didn't accept that invitation. And then maybe when he saw you guys also sending an invitation and he had a few hit pieces done online.
Did you put Patrick's name in the invite?
I didn't. No. I mentioned David Allen Arnold. Shout out to him. Michael Francis. Shout out to him. Anna Kasparian. Shout out to her. I mentioned,
I know what it was.
On the bottom where it says, guest booker. PBD.
Yeah, no, if that was there, that's probably what it was.
No. Okay. PBD was not
I know what it was.
What was it?
You didn't even friend him. You didn't even request friendship or add him as a friend.
Oh, you gotta give him a hug.
Is that what hurt his feelings?
Gotta give him a hug first.
Doctor, is that what hurt your feelings? We didn't friend you.
Hug, Dr. Jang? Professor Jang, you want a hug?
Yeah. FBI operative.
Hey, it's an assumption. Wow, you guys would completely.
Well, he blocked us. He can't see you.
You have to friend him first. Gotta friend him and send him some cookies first.
Yeah, you got to bake him some muffins and send him the muffins.
I like him.
No, he lives in Canada, doesn't he?
No, he taught in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Or studied in Toronto, but he lives in Beijing. He's a teacher over there.
Oh, that's what it is. I thought, for some reason, I thought he lived in Canada.
He did live in Canada.
Okay, so that's what it was that I saw. But no, he blocked us, bro. I don't know why. Very strange.
I think he must have just confused you guys for all these other guys attacking him.
Bro, it's so crazy what's happening in society nowadays. Like, you see so many people terrified of communicating about certain things online. And then now AI is a factor with it. Everybody's terrified. You can't believe anything you see online anymore. Everything is fucking compromised.
It goes back to the discussion we were having earlier. And you asked, how could you know the truth of what's going on in Iran? And the way I'm going to explain it to you guys, and the way I understand it for myself, being Lebanese and you guys being Armenian, is it's the same story that's happening in Armenia with Azerbaijan. It's the same story that's happening in Venezuela. It's the same story that's happening in Cuba. It's the same thing every single place. So if you understand what's going on in your country of ethnicity, you'll understand what's happening in other countries. And this is the story. There's a group of people in Iran who don't want to be subservient to American imperialism and Israeli Zionism. Those people are resisting. In Venezuela, there's a group of people who don't want to be American puppets. And at the same time, there's another group of people who are just tired of the fight. I'm not even going to go as far as say they're cowards. It's easy for me to say that when I live here, right? But there's a group of people, like in Lebanon, I'm from Lebanon, and I understand every other fight that's going on because I know what's going on in my country. There's a group of people in Lebanon who resist Israeli Zionism. And there's another group of people in Lebanon who are just tired of the fight. It's been 30 years. In Iran, it's almost 50 years. In Cuba, it's almost 60 years. And they're just like, listen, we'd rather be subservient to American imperialism. We're just done. And that's what's going on in Iran. What the number is, I can't give you a number, but I know that's the divide and that's where it's being had. And I think for Iran, though, if the population was against Iran, that means their citizenry is against them. That means America, the West is against them. Zionism is against them. The Gulf countries are against them. So what's really keeping them going if their own population's against them? So that's what leads me to believe they have a lot more popular support than the West wants to imagine. And that's why that country is still standing and will continue to stand. And that's why, like we mentioned earlier, it's the only country trying to free the world of complete Zionist rule.
But you can say, I guess, the same about North Korea, right?
100%.
I mean, nobody's intervening in North Korea. We have no idea whether the people are oppressed or do they have a choice? Do they have the guy just recently won the vote, right? Re-election by what was it? 99.3%.
Yeah, I'm sure he won it.
Yeah, but as we laugh about him, Trump said the votes here were fraudulent, and we know the election was stolen from him. So we laugh at them. But America is guilty of the same thing. The swamp is guilty of the same thing.
99.
I'm not saying to the same extent. I'm not saying to say, but we're guilty of the exact same crimes you laugh at other countries
Yeah,
for.
but I mean, they can at least make it close. Put somebody in there where
As
it's
if
like
88 million was close.
Yeah, it's like how many people voted for you? 99.9%. So we need to find that 0.1% and kill him.
Yeah, or there's suicide law.
Well, who is Lindsey Graham better?
Listen to this one.
Is Lindsey Graham better?
Hold on, listen to this one.
Have you heard the suicide law they have in North Korea?
No, go ahead on here.
If we catch you thinking or attempting to commit suicide, we will take upon it ourselves to eliminate you. Like, all right, that's assisted suicide.
Yeah. That sounds Canadian.
Euthanasia.
Assisted
What do we
suicide.
call it?
Dr. Kevorkian, bro. Except it's Dr. Kim. Literally.
Dr. Kim, please don't.
But you know what I've grown to appreciate about his name? I can't pronounce it. Kim Jong
Rocket
Un,
Man.
whatever.
Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. What I like about him, without knowing anything other than this one thing, regardless of everything else, is the same thing I appreciate about Cuba or Venezuela or any country that says, listen, guys, I want to oppress my people. I don't want you to do it. I want to protect my sovereignty. I don't want to be your slave. So I'm not going to speak to the national politics, which I'm completely unfamiliar with, but I'm just talking it from that specific lens. As an Arab that comes from a region where all the leaders are American puppets and Zionist slaves, I admire a country and a government and a leader that says, listen, guys, I want to oppress my people, or at least I want to rule my people. I don't want you guys to do it for me. So anyone that respects their own sovereignty on that specific issue, I admire, especially coming from a region where our leadership is embarrassing.
But you're
You get the point I'm making?
Yeah, but I mean, with North Korea, I mean, they're beyond oppressed, bro. They've been cut out from the world completely, like completely. Like, can we open up a Google Earth map of North Korea and or an image of North Korea and South Korea at night? Have you seen it? Have you seen how wild it is?
Why
in the
is
satellite
that a
image?
bad thing? We're against globalism here. We want to be more isolationist here.
You'll see how wild it is when we pull up a photo of it. Just Google either.
Give me 1 second. Let me
Yeah.
get your new tab going.
Because what it is like when you look at Google Earth of North Korea and South Korea, it's lit up at night. North Korea, it's just pitch black.
Where do you want me to look?
Just
But
go-
it's
It's
South
funny
Korea-
if you have DuckDuckGo as your default, but you always use Google.
Google.
Well, no, because he always requests Google.
Well, I mean, it's like a default sort of thing. It's my default. Okay, what time is it in North Korea right now?
From space.
I'm curious.
Versus.
Let's check it out.
Or just satellite image of North Korea and South Korea?
But you know, South Korea is going to just make itself go extinct. Like their birth rate is below repopulation.
Well, Japan is worse. Japan
like-
has become like a sexless society.
12:41
Yeah, right there,
PM.
Joe.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This one or
Yeah,
this one?
That one. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's insane, bro.
but is that bad?
Of course it's bad.
Why is it bad?
Because you're
We take it as bad because they're not advanced. They don't have lights everywhere. Okay, we think that's bad. Why? Why?
Hussein. I mean, there's literally no lights. Meaning these
That's how
people
people
are
lived for thousands of years with no lights at night. Maybe that's better.
thousands of years. So we're going to compare thousands of years to a simple
Right, yeah.
light bulb, internet. They're basically cut off from everything.
What I'm suggesting is it's possible that a more simple life where you're connected more to your family and your community and you go to sleep at night rather than game till 4 a.m. or watch porn till 2 a.m. could be better for
I
society.
mean, you're talking about not even a single night light turned
Brother,
on there.
But who is
Allah, I don't know. I don't live there. You know, so it could be
It's like,
better.
these people don't have street lights, bro. What are you talking about?
so why can't the people decide? See, that's the difference between look, North Korea, right? You're comparing North Korea, Iran, right? North Korea, majority, if not all, the population is North Korean, right? You don't have Americans and Brits and Indians
Right.
there. U.S., there are no Americans. Everybody's considered American, but they're all foreigners technically. Iran, majority are Iranians. So now these two countries, none of the population has access to any artillery, right? No weapons, zero guns.
Mhm.
Whereas the United States, we have more guns than most militaries around the world.
Right.
So what choice do the Iranians or the North Koreans have if they even wanted to revolt against the government, against the administration? Right? You're saying, well, okay, that's fine. Don't have lights. Okay, let me have access to lights and let me decide if I want to go to bed with my family at 9 p.m. or 12 a.m.
I want to pay the power bill.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I don't think they have a choice.
I don't know if they do.
I agree
or
with the
don't.
simpler
I mean,
life.
that's clearly,
don't know.
that map was clearly
I'm
depicting
just
they don't have-
always hesitant to judge other countries and other governments when we live under the Epstein regime. And this is directly affecting me, that our politicians are blackmailed. So it's so easy for us to get distracted and think we're better than other countries and think we're better than other people. And those governments are primitive. this government in like traffics and rapes and kills American girls
Yeah, but that's
and
not-
bombs them. So before thinking they're primitive for what you're suggesting, which is possibly the
Not
case,
primitive, oppressed.
which is possibly the case, we here have our own issues that could take our attention rather than focusing on what's going on there. That's the position that I'm kind of holding. And I want to ask you guys, are there Armenians in Iran?
Yes.
Yes.
A lot.
What do you guys talk to any of them there? What do they say? How do they feel
want-
as Armenian Christians living under the Islamic Republic of Iran?
They want a regime change.
Could they practice their faith though? Do they go to churches?
Yeah.
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 So they can practice. Do
Armenians
they face
are
any religious prosecution in Iran?
Armenians are protected in Iran.
Alhamdulillah.
They have been even during Shah, especially. And Armenia has been protected by the country of Iran for many, many years.
We're somewhat allies.
Okay. And even today, while they're in war, they still come out and say, we have Armenia's back, even with all the whatever they're dealing with. So as an Armenian, if you look at the country of Armenia, we don't want anything to happen to Iran because Iran is one of the, if not the only country in recent history that has actually had Armenia's back.
What's the Iranian government's position on the genocide the Armenian people faced?
They recognize the Armenian
100%.
genocide.
So Iran, who's made to seem like the monster, defends people of genocide that were Armenians, defends people that are being genocided, whether in Palestine. They're the monsters, but the Epstein regime are the good guys that are raping children and supporting genocide. This is why I keep going back. We have to focus on the issues that hurt our lives and by the people that govern us, like Lindsey Graham and whoever else. So for me, when it comes to Iran, that's supporting Armenia against Shia Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is Shia.
Yes.
But Iran stands on principle. One of their basic principle is we won't rape girls and we won't bomb girls. And based on their decent, basic level of decency and morality, they support the just cause of the Armenians, even though Armenians are Christians, against the Shias of Azerbaijan, because the Shias of Azerbaijan, the government there, are Zionists. So we keep demonizing Iran, but Armenians and Christians should be supporting Iran more than anybody else. They're the ones also going after Zionism. That's a bigger threat to America more than anybody else.
I think the Armenians in Iran want some sort of freedom as far as the Islamic laws that were instilled into Iran in 1979 by the original Khomeini. They want to go back to what it was prior to the Khomeini, where it was a Islamic country, but there was somewhat freedom when it came to the way men and women dressed, the way certain laws were implemented against men and women. So that's what they want.
People often talk about the hijab. I'm not going to go into it long. People can watch the episode we just filmed. You know what other clothes imposition was imposed on the people of Iran by the Shah? Forcing women to take their hijab off. Also, what did he force? He forced men to wear ties. People like to marginalize the significance of clothing. The significance of clothing. But even the Shah understood the importance of clothing.
Yeah.
That's why he supported men wearing tie. That's why he forced women to take off hijab. You see the point that I'm making?
Yeah.
So it's not only the Iranian government today that has a clothing decorum that's expected of their population, but also the Shah recognized that was also a threat. And I want to go back. Do the Armenians today face any prosecution or face any racism from the government?
I couldn't tell you because I don't know, to be honest with you. But what we do know is that we see from the Armenian community here who fled Iran to Austria, to Germany, to the Netherlands in order to get away from the regime and come to America for a better life. They want change because they truly feel like they could go back to Iran where they grew up and where they were born to, I guess, enjoy the country.
In their defense, I think anybody from almost anywhere in the world, if you give them a visa, a green card, passport to the United States, they will come here, whether they have a false, pretense of what the U.S. is. They think there's free money.
No,
giving out,
this is
giving
still the greatest country in the world.
So, and that's the argument that essentially you're always going to lose to, which is nobody's fleeing their country to go to North Korea or Iran or most other countries around the world. Maybe Dubai, maybe, some of the European smaller.
Not anymore.
Yeah, their safety seems to be a little bit compromised. But, so at the end of the day, people are still risking their lives to move to the United States. No other country that I'm aware of. One, because some other countries do have stricter borders, even though we have that now too. But at the end of the day, I still think if you gave people a choice, you want to move to, let's say, Sweden or US, they'll pick US. You want to move to Australia or US, majority will pick US. And there has to be a reason for that. It's not because, let's go to
Power Super Chat unlocked. They're fueling the Wise Nuts madness.
There
So
we
we
go.
got a super chat.
From Arno De Capo down. You sound
Okay,
like
so we
Batman.
got a $5 super chat during the 2020. Joe, there we go. All right, so there we go. All right, during the 2020 war, Iran was the only country who supported Armenia financially and militarily. Armenians have always been free and protected in Iran. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. And as for America being a great country, absolutely. But greatest. But now that America is being what? Corroded
That's
for
up to,
interest.
and that's up to us. That is all up to the people waking up and talking about this bullshit Epstein stuff that's going on, where people are like, you know what? Oh my God, there was no flight log. Epstein didn't do anything. No, dude, Epstein did do something. Epstein trafficked women. Epstein had presidents, CEOs, high-ranking officials at his island getting quote-unquote massages. Give us a break, man. Release all the files. Allow us to see whatever it is that's redacted. Unredacted. Let us see what it is. They're like, oh, we just released 3 million emails. But you look at it, like 2.9 of it is like just black lines. So what is it? What are you guys hiding?
By the way, Tade is right.
But
Iran never officially recognized the genocide.
Iran didn't recognize
not officially, no.
Okay, so from my understanding, it was Azerbaijan, Turkey, Ukraine, Pakistan, Israel were 5 of the major countries who had not recognized the Armenian genocide. And Israel was the one that surprised me the most, because it's like, dude, you guys went through a genocide yourself. You don't recognize the first genocide
Who went through a genocide?
And
the Israelis.
No, they went through Holocaust.
Oh, a Holocaust. I'm sorry. You went through a Holocaust
you know
yourself.
The difference between a genocide and a Holocaust?
I think it's the same thing. No.
One of them you can inflate the numbers. The other one you cannot.
That's the difference. Okay.
I'm not going to say which is which.
But the first genocide of the 20th century was not recognized by the Israeli government or the Turks or the Azeris or the Pakistanis or Ukraine. And surprisingly, Ukraine has been in butt buddies with Israel and America recently as well. So what's up with that?
I mean, if there's a reason why they don't do DNA tests in Israel, and there's a reason why.
There's a reason why they don't do DNA tests in Turkey as well.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly.
Because most of them are going to be either Greek, Armenian, or I think it was Beck, right? Even Albanian.
Yeah.
Within this occupied Palestine, the state today known as Israel, even when people complain about them being racist towards the Christians, towards the Muslims, towards the Palestinians, that country is a racist country because even within their own population, they practice racism. If you're an Ashkenazi Jew from Eastern Europe, you are superior culturally than the Mazari Jews, the Arab Jews, or the Ethiopian Jews. So even within the Jewish population, within occupied Palestine, they practice racism within each other.
But that's with everybody. There's prejudice amongst Armenians. There's prejudice amongst the Islam community, Muslims. There's prejudice amongst Blacks, Asians, all of them. It's not like they're like, oh, well, you're, Muslim, so we love you no matter what. No, it's, well, he's Muslim from this country, so they like to do this. Same thing with Armenians. Oh, he's Armenian from this country, so they're used to doing, tricky
Not
things.
even that. Even the Sunnis and the Shias. Oh, he's Sunni. He prays with his hands up. Oh, he's Shia. He prays with his hands down. It's like,
But the thing is, when we practice racism, like, okay, I'm Lebanese, I'm better than this other Lebanese
I would
guy
call
for
it
whatever reason.
prejudice more.
Prejudice, racism, whatever it is. It's not resulting in genocide, and it's not resulting in bombing children. So if you're gonna say, listen, I'm racist, I hate everyone equally, fine. But as long as it doesn't translate into me having different laws. The other day I was in a restaurant and there was an African American there beside me and he was reading the Bible.
Ali's restaurant or where?
No, not Ali's restaurant, another. And then he started talking to me about Israel and how he supports the state of Israel as a Christian. And I'm like, you're an African American. Didn't this state have rules where blacks couldn't go here and couldn't use these roads and go into these places? He's like, yeah, well, today, you go to Palestine today. You go to Israel today. There's certain roads Christian and Muslim Palestinians cannot enter, cannot go to, cannot use. And that's existing today. So when your racism isn't just like a joke, or even maybe you might feel better than somebody, but it doesn't translate into the law and into murder, that's the difference.
Yeah,
and that's a huge difference. And so I just want to make that clarification. And about America being the greatest, I want to ask you guys, what makes America the greatest?
Opportunity.
That's it. So when I even say, yeah, when it comes to me being here, you have more liberty. Supposedly, you're supposed to have more liberty than most places, and you have more opportunity than most places, and you could practice freedom more than most places. And those are the things that are being attacked. You can't even afford a home today. You can't afford to get married today. Your freedom is limited today. You can't even say certain things. So what makes America great today is being attacked. And that's what Americans should be waking up to.
Well, yeah,
and that's the greatest threat to America.
The cost
for
of
the
living
interests
is
of
getting
another
ridiculous.
country.
Yeah. The cost of living in America has gotten ridiculous, and it's because of our tax dollars being used for foreign countries. And this goes towards Ukraine, it goes towards Israel, it goes towards all these foreign countries and entities. We're militarizing all these other countries for their best interest. It's like you guys aren't from California. You came to California, you saw Los Angeles, and in our previous episode, there was a couple of things that we kind of dabbled on, but Los Angeles itself, you leave the outskirts of Glendale, Burbank, Pasadena, which is the Tri-City area, and you go to LA, we have a homeless crisis going on. And a lot of people are saying it's a housing issue. It's a housing issue. No, it's not a housing issue. It's a mental health crisis that we're dealing with. And it's a drug epidemic that we're dealing with, which our mayors don't want to deal with. They refuse to understand and take responsibility and understand that, hey, listen, this is not a housing issue. You can build as many houses as you want. Those houses will become crack houses and heroin houses. That's what's going to happen. These people don't want to be housed. These people need mental health. And Ronald Reagan took away those mental institutions and let people roam around in the streets and made it seem like it was okay to be unhoused.
What was the logic behind that?
There is no logic behind it. There's zero logic behind it. Listen, somebody who is unhoused and is truly unhoused will do anything and everything they can to get back on their feet, find a job, get into a home, get their careers back, get back on their feet. But when you see a lot of these unhoused people on the streets of Los Angeles, you can tell this person will not pass any sort of interview for any sort of job if they were to even clean up, because they're going through something else, either emotionally, mentally, or drugs.
There's when I look at another threat to America, like let's just go back to the 60s, 70s. If you worked a regular job as a butcher, as a barber in a factory, you can buy a home, you can buy 2 cars, one for yourself, one for your wife. You can go on vacation once a year. You're working 40 hours a week. Your wife isn't working. You have savings, you have a pension. This is all off one guy working in a factory. Today, there's 2 incomes and all the issues that result from 2 incomes, and you still can't afford half of that. And I would even say one of the biggest threats to America, before I address Zionism directly, is moral degeneracy and culture. The culture has deteriorated to a place where we don't view each other as humans, as neighbors, with love, with compassion, with morality, and with decency. And that's because the leaders are of the Epstein class. They're degenerates. And that culture is seeping downwards towards the population.
But wouldn't you say it's
and that's affecting every aspect of American life.
Wouldn't you say it's a lack of culture that's doing that?
I say the culture has become...
It's a lack of culture. What is America's culture?
Well, now it's debauchery. That's what it's known for.
Because when you talk about Lebanese culture, right? what's one of the first things you think of in Lebanese
You
culture?
think of hospitality. You think of respecting elders. You think of food. You think of faith.
You see? And then when you say, oh, Armenian culture, what do you think of? Oh, hospitality, faith, family, food.
Exactly.
That's what it was here in the 50s
That's
too.
exactly.
It was. That's what it was
And
about.
that's what's being taken away.
And what happened was one big movement was the feminist movement. That was one of the big ones that took place. It was, you know what? You're equal to a man and you can go out and get a job and you're better. You can be better than him and blah, 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 blah. Again, men and women, if a woman could do a job better than a man, by all means, it's halal to you. I'll give you the job. You could take over. You do the thing. But what happened was things got very expensive. They took the woman out of the house. They put her in the workforce. The 30-year mortgage that we had, right? What was it? You were in your early 20s. You got married. You had kids. You worked for 30 years. By 60, 65 years old, you retired. The house was paid off. The kids were empty. The kids would leave. You had an empty nest and you would sail off into the sunset, right? That's the American dream. But now they took the wife out of the house. The kids were being raised by public schools. By the time they got home, you got home, the family dinners and all that stuff, it was all thrown out the window. That's one thing I respect about, well, not one thing, but one of the things I respect about the Jewish culture is Shabbat. Fridays, this shit goes away. No technology. You sit down, you have a conversation with your family, you eat, all that stuff. You're cut out from the world.
Okay, so for North Korea, it's Shabbat 365.
Well,
brother.
that's
no. You see, so for Jews, we like it, but for
no, but culturally, isn't that a good thing?
I have to be honest. It is a good
It's
thing.
unfortunate that a lot of our people. Look, I'm guilty of it as well, Hussein. I'm guilty of scrolling on this piece of shit as well. Where sometimes my wife goes, "Get off your phone." I'm guilty of it. I'm admitting it as well. But there's a lot of people that won't admit to it.
I want to ask you guys this. He mentioned feminism. And I keep talking about hijab and the woman in Iran wearing hijab and decency and morality. And I mentioned Bible verses earlier on these issues. What is one of the biggest attack vectors that was used to promote feminism? It was women's sexual liberty, the sexual revolution. That was one of the metrics, whatever you want. That was one of the vectors used to promote this form of feminism that helped deteriorate society in the way you explained. And Dr. Ali Shariati. So he was a professor back in the 70s, and he was a part of the Iranian Revolution, though he didn't see it come to fruition because he passed away before that. He says this women's movement, this feminism, the first sacrifice made in this altar of desire and lust is femininity. That's the first thing that would be killed, is the womanness in woman. So that goes back to talking about how decency and modesty and those concepts, when they're not protected, how society will deteriorate.
From what I remember, I don't remember exactly who it was. There was this guy who wrote a book. I forgot what his name was, but speaking of the feminist movement, he mentioned something about the feminist movement really boomed after World War II. And the reason behind it was men were out overseas fighting a war and women were in the factories. Women were playing baseball. Women were doing a lot of the jobs that men were supposed to be doing because our men were fighting at war. And then when the men came back and the boomers and all that stuff, it was like, hey, listen, well, while the men were overseas fighting, the women were able to do a lot of these men's jobs. We're pretty much, better than they are, and we can do a lot of these jobs. And maybe we should start some sort of movement that, we want equal rights to all the men. Which again, I'm not disagreeing with it. Women, men, if a woman could do the same job a man can, by all means, do it. But they infiltrated and they brainwashed a lot of people, creating this fake movement.
Yeah. They made feminism into this sexual revolution they call. They put them into workplace and they demonized motherhood.
Exactly. They demonized motherhood and they took away masculinity from men. When they said chivalry is dead,
where they put it?
That's when chivalry died. When a man opens a door for a woman, so, well, I could open up my own door. when a man pays for a meal, well, I could pay for my own meal.
Well, that one they never say.
Oh, well, you'd be surprised. But it's like, dude, whatever happened to, a man taking care of a woman?
Okay, but when you
taking care.
let me ask you guys
I
this.
could take care of myself.
When you remove the man from man, that level of manness needs to be transferred in society. So it got shifted to the woman. And when you decrease the woman in woman, that had to go somewhere. So it got shifted towards the men. So that's why men are more like women than we were, and why women today are more like men. But if man was enough man, women would naturally be women. They're put in a place where I think many of them don't want to be. They fought for the wrong thing. Who says work is fun? Karl Marx, he makes this point. He's like, rather than women, he's like, capitalism used the veil of feminism to enter women into the workplace. But the real interest was cheaper labor, more docile labor. Who are better employees than women? They fight less. They argue for their rights less. They want less pay. They A, B, C, D. They make better employees. So he's like, they left the supposed slavery of their husbands to enter the indefinite slavery of their boss. So before they were a slave, let's say, to their husband. But their husband was at least responsible to them for life, responsible to their kids for life. He had made a commitment to her forever. Whereas now they're entering the workforce where the employer has no commitment towards her. One bad quarter and he'll let her go. But then you can say, yeah, but she can choose her boss. Well, yeah, she can also choose her husband. So you're leaving one form of slavery for another more indefinite form of slavery, because no husband can tell his wife, you can't eat between 12 and 1, or you can't put your phone away. A boss has more control over a woman than a man over his wife. So she left a lesser form of slavery to enter a more definite form of slavery and celebrated it as some sort of freedom at the sacrifice of her home and her children that are being raised somewhere else. This is what's being celebrated as a form of freedom, but it's far from free. You know who's free? Maybe the woman in North Korea. I don't know. Maybe the men there are still responsible towards them.
That there was a woman who, a few years back, her boss actually had kidney failure, so she donated one of her kidneys to her boss, and he ended up firing her. You know what? For what? She took too long to recover.
Subhanallah.
You see?
Yeah. Brother, this is a form of freedom.
Sad,
I'm going to go back to what Ali Shariati says.
But wait,
before you get back, the first sacrifice in this altar of lust is femininity. That was the first thing lost. And that's why you don't see girls blushing, because they had to become men. Why? Because men are women. Men are more happy. The Bible says it, to be led. They're more than happy to be obedient, but you have to be deserving of that respect. You have to be deserving for them to offer you that level of obedience. You have to be able to lead. You can't lead if you're also a woman.
But do you think it was the cost of living and life itself becoming so expensive that led to this massive shift in the family dynamic?
Yeah, absolutely. Because before I would bring $100, let's say $100 a month home for 40 hours worth of work. 40 hours worth of work brought me $100. Well, now I'm working 40 hours. She is also working 40 hours, and it's only $100 coming in. So the hours of labor now are what? 80 hours, but the pay is still only $100. And before it was different. When a woman would look at you, you're out there, you're struggling, you're fighting off the world to provide for her and provide for your kids. She would look at you with this reverence. She would look at you with this awe. And then you would look at her for the sacrifices she's making at home. And you'd be connected differently than you view each other today. It's more of like a roommate. It's more of like a partnership. And I'm not saying that we should have an unhealthy level of dependence, but this idea of being independent weakens us. Here in this country, you turn 18, you leave. Okay, so I'm paying rent, my brother's paying rent, my sister's paying rent, my father's paying rent. Why? This is making us weaker because we have less money to enjoy more freedom. And we're celebrating at it, but it's not. It's actually more subjugation.
Absolutely. And plus, going back to your $100 a month comment, let's say if back then, for instance, if the man made 50 grand a year, he paid 10,000 in taxes, and they lived happily ever after. They paid off their mortgage in 30 years, and
now it's 50 years.
No, not yet. Thank God, not yet.
But not only that, but what it is now, instead of 50,000, husband and wife are working. They're making 200,000 a year, which doesn't have the buying power of 50,000. Yeah. Plus, out of the 200,000 they're making combined, 100,000 is going to Uncle Sam.
Absolutely.
So instead of collecting 5,000 in tax, they're collecting 100,000 in tax, and you have less of a lifestyle, less affordability, less of everything. You can't even, like you said, buy a home. You can barely rent some type of a shack, an AD or something, and that's what people are succumb to. I mean, they especially in some of these coastal cities, you have absolutely zero chance of getting out of the swamp. I mean, it's just you're always in financial debt. You're always behind on your credit card payments and your mortgage payments and your car pay. It just seems like you're working to
survive
and to pay off the banks and the IRS. That's all you're doing.
If you're in that position, how could you stand up to the government if it's oppressing you? It's impossible because you're busy just all day, just running, trying to pay this bill and try to pay that bill. Let's say you own a corner store. You're paying tax on the Kit Kat. The person who made the Kit Kat is paying tax on it. It getting transported here is paying tax. The guy who's selling is paying tax. This guy's paying an income tax when he's buying it. How much is that one Kit Kat being taxed? Much less your income, your houses, your land, and everything else.
Well, not only that, the property taxes that these people are collecting. We had a video that went viral, super viral, where we talked about the Palisades fires, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Palisades by itself, single family residents, do you know how much money in property taxes they were collecting a year? Just in single family residents, $500 million.
Yeah.
Just in single family residents, not the commercial buildings, not the apartments, none of that stuff, just in single family. But they couldn't take $500 million in a year and fix those power lines and make underground conduits. And this is just property taxes.
Hold on, half, or was it $5 billion?
It was $500 million.
I thought it was five. No,
No, it was $500 million in just single family. And I'm sure with the Nobus and all those fancy restaurants that were there in those commercial buildings and all those offices and stuff, they were collecting a nice chunk of change.
Why did this country become independent of the British? Over a tax over tea.
Tea tax.
A tea tax was enough.
What was it, like 4%?
To enrage the population.
Wasn't it like 4%?
And look at us now.
3%.
We're taxed in every state. And by the way, we're going to make fun of North Korea and China because they're communist. So what is this capitalism? It's capitalism, for who? For bankers when they get bailed out, for big corporations when they get subsidies. But for me, who owns a small business, I don't get any communism. I got to pay everything. The government can't pay its TSA employees, so I have to wait 3 hours to get through. The richest, wealthiest organizations ever existed, they can't pay their employees. And we're going to talk about other countries? And I have to pay my employees right away. The contradictions are so blatant. They're so overwhelming. It's super annoying.
Yeah, but you can't argue the fact that the opportunities here are, if not 100,000 times better than any country outside of America.
Materially, yes, I can't disagree with that. With that point, yeah, still that's the case. Even with all this financial oppression we face.
Because look, we're all immigrants here, man.
Yeah.
Your family was immigrants. Our families were immigrants. And
I was a refugee.
And there you go. You're a refugee. You guys came here to build a better life for yourself. And again, I don't know where your financial status is or where you guys stand financially, but I'm hoping it's much better here than it was in Lebanon.
You have more financial opportunity with everything we said more than anywhere else. But the patriotic position is to still fight all these injustices and not accept them just because we're better off than other places. And that's the annoying thing. I'm brought here because of bombs that were going off in Lebanon, right? Then you come here and you're like, okay, what are you doing here?
Well, now you watch the bombs from here drop in the Middle East. That's the problem.
We came here. Your family came here. Our parents came here, partly because of the policies from here. And then when we get here, we're othered. And that's also not fair. And a part of the reason why people come here is because of the policies the American government has against people overseas, whether it's in Venezuela, whether it's in the Middle East, whether it's anywhere. So they create the immigrants that they later complain about. They create the refugees that they later complain about. Like these people that crossed over during Biden, they came here. People say, oh, they're illegals, right? They're not illegals. It was legal for people to go to the border and walk in. That was the policy of the Biden administration because this country is built in part by occupying, oppressing, or bombing people abroad, trying to teach them democracy and then complaining when they walk over here and wanting them for cheap labor. And criticizing this government, by the way, is the most American thing to do. The citizenry needs to have an adversarial relationship with the government. If people thinking sending soldiers to go die in Israel is patriotic, that's treacherous. The American position should be, I don't want American soldiers to go die for Zionism, killing poor brown people halfway across the world when I was plucked out of some ghetto here and I've never left my neighborhood. And that child at 18 can't grab a beer, but he can go kill a kid? And that's patriotic? No. And I'm not justifying the position of the soldier. Back in the 60s, many soldiers objected. I'm not going to go there. Why? For what? For who? For some reason, we give this blanket right. Oh, they're just soldiers. They're just obeying the laws. No. I don't respect that anymore.
No, that's disrespect to the boys and girls going overseas to fight for what we enjoy here.
They're not going to fight for overseas for what you enjoy here. They're going there to fight for the Epstein regime. The Houthis are not a threat to anyone in Nebraska. That's the lie we're told in order to support these troops that are killing poor people while they themselves are poor.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to give them. They have a moral responsibility as a soldier to fight for justice and to defend America from actual threats. But if I'm going there to enrich Jeffrey Epstein and his partners and his regime, that's not American. That's actually treacherous.
Yeah.
That soldier, I don't respect that soldier. Guess what?
Wait. Does the soldier know any better? The soldier is basically
his ignorance isn't bliss. You can't kill a child out of ignorance. Like, that's not forgivable to me. I can't kill it. Let's say I would never left Lebanon. I was born in Al Ain. I left Lebanon to tell me Hussein, listen, you need to go kill 5-year-old Israeli kids. You guys know my position on Zionism. I would never do it because he's a 5-year-old kid. Like, I mean, that shouldn't be such a huge moral accomplishment. I would never go kill a 5-year-old Jewish kid. 100%. That doesn't make me a moral champion. And I don't care how much the Lebanese government tried to brainwash me. I would never do it because he's a 5-year-old kid.
Because that's what soul.
That's what the Epstein regime does. Am I yelling? I feel like
it's
I'm
perfect. Don't worry about it.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. So these soldiers.
Joe, can you turn his mic down a little bit?
Maybe reduce his.
I'm gonna say this, brother. There's nothing more brave than a man fighting for his faith, for his family, for his land, and for his rights. It's honorable, and that sacrifice is immeasurable. But going to do it for some rich, fat pedophile here, I can't respect. You're willing to risk your life for his interest against your own personal interest and that of your own citizens.
Well, that's what Lindsey Graham said. That's what he was advocating for. Exactly what you're.
Yeah, let him go.
Yeah, why doesn't he go?
Let their kids go.
That's the thing.
Just the poor kids in the ghettos can go.
That's what we've always talked about on the show. Is if you're a politician, you're pushing for war, you should be in the front lines yourself. Your kids, go on the front lines, and then I'll support the war. Until then, I have zero support for whatever you're advocating.
And who is living up to that standard? The Iranian leaders, the Iranian government. They're the ones putting their lives on the line, and we're made to make them look like the terrorists. You know who they resemble? The people who made this country independent. Give me liberty or give me death. That's what they're doing. And I mentioned Dr. Ali Shariati. He also says, going back to Sayyid Ali Khamenei's martyrdom, he makes this quote back in the 70s. He says death chooses cowards who are not brave enough to have martyrdom. If you can't beat your enemy, at least choose martyrdom and disgrace them. Right now, the American government is being disgraced. And the same people that killed Jesus, they were disgraced for killing Jesus. When Ali, you say, I can't beat you? Okay. I can't live how I want? Okay. But guess what? I'm going to die on my own terms. And I admire that. I have to respect that. And I'm going to get lectures on morality and being a hero from Donald Trump, who, how many times did he avoid the draft?
Oh, times? Did he?
He avoided the draft many times because of some health issue.
I think it was once, no?
I think 6 times.
No.
I think 6 times. They can double check
draft?
Me. Yeah, he avoided it 6 times.
He avoided it.
And he's going to pretend like he's the hero?
Because he has flat feet? Or?
How about... Exactly. Yeah, that was the point.
Growth spurt. Actually.
Growth. Yeah, he had exactly. Growth spurt. I think shin splints and various other issues.
I've got an ingrown toenail. It's probably the best toenail you've ever seen, but it's ingrown.
So I want to ask, who's resembling the original founders of this country, the pioneers of this country, who made this country what it is in 1776? Is it the Iranian government? Or is it Epstein class and Donald Trump and what's his name? The North Carolina, I just forgot his name. The gay
Lindsey?
guy. Lindsey
Oh.
Graham. Are these guys more American? Do they resemble the founding fathers more than the Iranian government right now?
Look, you can't
I say
mention. You
neither.
can't hold on. You can't even mention Jeffrey Epstein because Jeffrey Epstein was he was a complete Israel first before America first. Jeffrey Epstein
Ted
was
Cruz,
a mole.
Lindsey
Mole.
Graham, Donald Trump. List them. Just list them. List the entirety of them. How many of them have gone to war? How many of them have sent their kids to war?
Well, the question is like, all right, if are these people on the Epstein files? Are their names redacted, unredacted, and let's see
Does the
who's on
Epstein
there.
file really matter?
Well, look, then if it doesn't matter, why redact anything?
What do you mean by doesn't matter? That's
Because the whole nation, unfortunately, the United States, if you look at the child trafficking map, the whole country is almost red dots.
Yeah, you have a bunch of people that have
That's
to
not
file.
a bunch of people. You're talking about hundreds and thousands of people
Yes,
being trafficked, kids, adults, you name it, especially kids being trafficked in the United States, all around the United States. And who's in charge of all that? I think the CIA is controlling all that. So the Epstein file is just, again, it's just a way of
what distraction?
distracting us like Epstein. No, man, this whole country is the island itself.
right.
It's not the Epstein island.
But don't you think that the names that are on the actual list or in the emails, it would lead to other fish?
No, let's assume everybody's on there. And
Okay,
what's
well-
going to happen? Nothing. I mean, nobody's...
Brother, if we're led by what needs to happen is we can no longer accept that as a given. We're led by pedophiles. We're led by degenerates. We're led by people that are completely morally bankrupt. While Sayyid Ali Khamenei, who's a philosopher, who's a jurist, you see how this footage of him and how he's with his daughter and his wife. How come he's not in the Epstein list? He's the monster. We look at people. I want to ask you guys have children? Am I right?
Yes.
God forbid, let's say you lived in Palestine and you lived in Lebanon, and an 18-year-old IDF soldier is humiliating in front of you, your wife, and your daughters, and they don't have water and they don't have food, while you look across the fence and the Israelis are swimming in a pool and he just moved from Jersey 5 weeks ago, and your daughter is thirsty, your land is occupied, you're being prosecuted, your uncle was killed, your brother was shot, your mother's in jail. What would you guys do?
I can't even imagine.
What would
I
you do?
You can't. You can't.
No,
imagine
you
it.
can't imagine. You would start killing people. What else are you going to do?
Exactly.
Let's just say it as it is. If someone, I will die, and then it's over. But listen, death is easy. I don't know why we make a big deal out of it. Living in Lebanon under that kind of humiliation, under that kind of subjugation, every day is 1,000 deaths. You think an 18-year-old IDF Israeli kid from Jersey is going to humiliate me, just kill me, or I'm going to kill you when it's done?
Yeah, look,
And it's done.
like you said,
Why don't I have that right? They have the right.
like you said, death is easy. But as a father, yeah, it's easy to say, okay, I'm going there, kill me. That's fine. But then who's here to protect
The
my
point I'm
family?
making, no, you have to resist. You have to resist. I'm not
see?
saying kill me. I'm not going to just voluntarily walk into my death. But what I'm saying is in the
You'll
same,
fight.
You fight. Why do we, Hamas are terrorists. Okay, Hamas is terrorist. Hezbollah is terrorist. Hezbollah is terrorist. Iran is terrorist. Okay. The Palestinians, the Lebanese, the Iranians, they fought Zionism legally. It goes nowhere. They fight them economically with the BDS. It goes nowhere. They fight them culturally. It goes nowhere. They fight them with protests in 2018. They were killed. They fight them. Okay, which option have you guys? What? Now we're using slogans. What's the slogan? Free Palestine from the river to the sea. That slogan, we can't use that slogan now. So I can't use slogans. I can't use arms. I can't use politics in the United Nations. It does nothing. I can't use international law. It does nothing. I'm asking you guys, as fathers, what do you do? Oh, I know what they do. The Hamas guy takes his 6-year-old kid and he uses a human shield. Is that really, do we believe that?
That's propaganda, man.
100%. Which monster, which pedophile, which serial killer is going to take his 6-year-old kid and use him as a human shield? It's impossible. This is never, no one does this.
So why aren't the other Arab nations standing up for what's going on in the Middle East? See, why not?
I was gonna say
from
something funny.
from the Saudis to the UAE to the Jordanians, all these other Arab countries. Why aren't they standing up for it?
Because their governments are Zionist puppets, and they've sold out their souls.
So are they?
In the same way,
are the Saudi sheikhs compromised
in the
as well?
same way, the American government has sold out its interests for Zionism. Those countries have sold out their interests for American imperialism and Israeli Zionism, and Iran is simply saying no.
But do you think the Saudi princes are basically compromised, as in blackmailed by the Epstein?
Not blackmailed. They
Then
just
what
see
is
the
it?
money. They see the money. They see the lifestyle. They see what they can have, and they subjugate their population in order to live the lifestyle that they
So
do.
are the people in Saudi living bad, or are they living comfortable?
They live better than other places.
So
for
then
sure.
why not help your brothers and sisters? Is it a Sunni Shia problem? that's
Nothing
there?
to do. It's not even a matter. This Gaza is Sunnis. Like the Palestinians. It's not a matter of
So then why not protect your own people?
brother. It's not even a matter of it's Muslims.
Because they say the Palestinians are the problem as well. That's what they say. And again, this is me playing devil's advocate. I'm trying to just figure this out to understand why it is. Okay, you're both Sunni, you're both Sunni, and if you're both Arabs, why are you not helping your own people? Because they talk down upon the Palestinians. They say they're not good people. They're not trustworthy. It's like, whoa, wait a minute.
If you're trying to get me to defend those Arab governments, no, they're treacherous and they sold out their people. And I'm going to go further. I even put a responsibility on those people. In the same way I put responsibility on Americans to hold their governments accountable, those populations need to hold their treacherous governments accountable. But for whatever reason, it seems to be only the Shias that stand up against the governments. In Bahrain recently, there's been revolts against the Sunni monarchy there that's decided to become a puppet to Zionism and American imperialism. And the Sayyid was killed. In Lebanon, the Shias, they fight their government. The Lebanese government is Zionists. In Qatif, in Saudi, the Shias there fight the Saudi governments all the time. For whatever reason, I know the reason. Maybe I'll mention it in a minute, but the populations can know the populations in Egypt and all these other countries in the Gulf states. It's no longer enough to say we support the Palestinian cause, but it's our government's fault. At some point, you have to be on the street. At some point, why is it only the Shias willing to be killed, jailed, prosecuted, and literally take on the whole world? These people in these states also have a responsibility to stand up for justice, to stand up to people that are being oppressed, and not for the sake of only Palestinians. The Israelis came out recently and said, oh, the next axis of evil is Turkey, and I don't know what other country he mentioned.
Yeah, Turkey was the one that they mentioned.
Israel has been telling us since forever, it was Saddam's nuclear weapons. Okay, then it was Libya's nuclear weapons. Okay, then it was Syria's nuclear weapons. You think they're telling the truth now with Iran's nuclear weapons? Oh no, now it's Iran's ballistic missiles. Oh, it's the Hizb's weapons. They're an expansionist state. They will never stop. And until these countries and their populations wake up to resist it, they're going to continue to be a victim of it. In the same way, Americans are victims of it here. And in the same way, Americans here don't stand up for it. Now there's becoming more of an awakening, and I hope it materializes. And all people have to do there or here is be brave enough to say no. If enough people just simply go on the street, you don't even got to shoot a gun. You don't have to change a law. You don't have to bribe a politician. Americans just go on the street, say no. I don't want to be a Zionist slave. I don't want soldiers dying for Zionism. It's done. The worst part is, I'm going to say this is maybe a bit controversial. It's not even the Epstein class or the elitists that kill us. It's the ignorant masses that turn on each other. That's the scary part. That's the worst part of it all. It's me having to fight and argue and debate another guy who's as poor as me, who's just trying to survive, while he defends the Epstein class and Zionism that work against his interest. Jeffrey Epstein's not going to kill me. He's not going to carry a gun. He's not going to house me in a prison. He's not going to be a cop. They would literally, it just takes no. Just say no. What is it? Hashtag no means no? Hashtag no means no. That's all it takes. And that's why I love what you guys are doing. And that's what I'm trying to do. It's just a matter of a cultural awareness. We have to elevate the level of consciousness. People need to become aware of these issues, and they don't have to do anything other than just say no. My body, my choice. That's it. I don't want to go to work for Zionists.
My country, my choice, huh?
Yeah, whatever it is.
We have a few questions. Well, not questions, but a few comments, actually.
You want to pull them up?
Sure. This one, which I find kind of misleading, but
Arabs invaded Jerusalem and named Palestine by the Roman. What is that? By the
hold on,
Romans.
let me
late-
enlarge. Let me
Yeah,
enlarge the
get
screen.
it larger a little bit. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Arabs invaded Jerusalem and named Palestine by the Romans later. No Armenian should say Jews have no right to that land when they got their land given back to them by the Russians, same as the Jews.
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. there.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of, no one's listen. Jews could live there. I don't care.
Look, Armenia was still Armenia at the time. It was just the communist country of Armenia under communist Russia. Armenia was still a country in its own. It was just under communist regime. That's what it was. The state of Israel was created in 1948 when
By the devil.
by the devil.
Just like Azerbaijan.
Just like, well, yeah, Azerbaijan was created as well.
Was Iran? Sayyid Ali
Exactly.
Khamenei is Azari.
Well, is he?
He has ethnicity.
No. I think the president. Who's the president right now of Iran?
His son.
No. The president. The president.
Shazat.
What was his name? He had a Y-A-N last name, right?
Yeah. Well,
I-A-N last name, whatever. He's Azeri, which now a lot of the Azeris, the South
So is
Azeris,
Sayyid Ali. You can
the South Azeris are coming out and saying, well, North Iran is South Azerbaijan.
Pezeshkian.
Pezeshkian. Yeah, Pezeshkian is Azeri, which again, those guys are connected to the Zionists, Israelis. But going back to what I was saying, 1948, the state of Israel was created by the United States and the UK, where the Palestinians basically opened their doors and said, hey, come here. It's a safe haven. You guys are okay here. And they basically planted a footprint there and have been expanding since. Now, when is enough going to be enough? Nobody knows. What is their goal and their mission? They know it. They want to create a greater Israel. But it's like, why can't all those people live in peace? They talk about being anti-Semitic, right? You're a Semite just like they are because of the region.
Right. I'm more Semitic than they come from Eastern Europe.
The Eastern Europeans, those are Ashkenazi Jews.
Yeah.
But when they talk about anti-Semitism, if I make fun of a Lebanese person, I'm technically being anti-Semitic because
The
you're a
technical
Semite.
term, yeah.
That's the it's not a technical term. That's the reality of it.
Yes.
Those people are the true Semites, the people that live in that region, whether it's Lebanon, Israel, Syria, that area, those are the true Semites. Just like us, when they talk about Armenians, we're Caucasian.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. You
We're
guys from
we're Caucasus.
Caucasus.
So when we would fill out a driver's license form, we said like, what ethnicity are you? Caucasian. That's what we are. We're from the Caucasus. Just like the Greeks and the Albanians are from the Baltics. They're the Baltic people. So these regions are all created thousands of years ago. So this whole anti-Semitic card that they play, okay, anti-Semitic. Okay, you're being anti-Semitic to a Lebanese person, to a Syrian, to a Palestinian. What's a Semite then? You tell me what a Semite is.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree. Absolutely. I made the point. God says, if you look at the Old Testament, God can be looked at as anti-Semitic. He says, I'm going to destroy you, O Israel. Jesus is anti-Semitic. He's always attacking the Jews in the Pharisees and the Jews and the rabbis. These are terms used as brainwashing mechanisms in order for us to comply. And this is what I go to say. Epstein is not going to police me. I police my mind because I'm too afraid to say, if someone comes after my family, I'm going to go after him. Like, imagine, I'm too afraid to say that. Like, I'm self-policing my own mind. I don't even need Epstein to police me. They put these barriers in our own heads that we can't express what's obviously true. And then if I'm, let's say, I don't want to use the word courageous enough because it's just literally saying a few words. If I express what I believe, and then I have my neighbor attacking me through these words that are used to shackle our minds, that are used to burden us with this responsibility of jumping around these words so we can't point out who's wrong, what's unjust.
Hussein, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been confused and called a Jew or Israeli?
No, alhamdulillah.
No, I'm not. You know what? The reason why I say it, right?
I've been confused as Armenian. When I'm ever in LA, people think I'm Armenian.
Well, because there's a massive Armenian community. The
Yeah.
only reason why I say it is because when you look at a real Israeli and a Palestinian or someone from Lebanon,
Yeah. I have too much light in my face.
Look,
to be considered a Jew.
you guys look very, but you guys look very similar.
No, we do. I know. I'm just
The people look like if you were to take a true Israeli and a true
when you say
Palestinian,
Israeli, you're kind of contradicting.
or okay,
I look like Mazari.
somebody's
there's
Jewish.
the Arab Jews from North Africa into
but
Persia. into
religion.
Babylon, yeah.
Look at how much religion has divided that region.
I wouldn't say religion, man. Religion, forget even religion. Like I love Greek philosophy. I love French philosophy. I love faiths. All saying the same message. In many different forms. They're all literally preaching. You mentioned those verses the other day. When someone treats you with evil, treat him with goodness.
The other hour.
There's a verse in the Quran that says the exact same thing. When someone meets you with evil, meet him with kindness. And then the ever hatred you had between you will melt away and it'll be as if you were friends. So that was said by Islam 1400 years ago. That was said by Christianity 600 years before that, 2,000 years ago. But then if you go back 3,000 years ago, King Priam in the Iliad and Odyssey, the same thing was being said when King Priam kissed the hands of Achilles. You know Achilles in the Battle of Troy?
Yes, of course.
Achilles killed Hector. Hector was the son of King Priam. So instead of killing Achilles, you know what King Priam did? He kissed the hands of Achilles.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, Achilles felt defeated with his humility. He's like, these are the hands that were used to kill your 6 sons. And King Priam comes and he kisses those hands. That humility defeated him. He wasn't defeated on the battlefield. And that was said before Jesus. So whether it's Greek philosophy, whether it's French, whatever, whether it's Islam, Christianity, the message of humility is always there. Understanding, compassion. The story is always love. But religion is always used, politics is always used to divide us. That's all it is. Politics is used. Materialism is used. Selfishness. But they use religion because religion is good.
Yeah, well, that's
so
what
to
it is.
convince people to do evil things, you have to use something good.
The political aspect of this. Okay, they use the politics to infiltrate religion to create a divide amongst people.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But religion of it itself, it should teach you to love, show compassion, understanding, humility more than anything. And that's shared probably with Eastern faiths. I'm not familiar with Eastern faiths.
It's all
say
about
Buddhists are probably saying the same thing.
Bro, it's all about respect. It's all about love. It's all about family values, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That all ties into each other. Whether you're a Buddhist, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, dude, even a Jew, man.
Absolutely.
That's all it's about. But for some reason, this geopolitical
It's
money
used as a
grab,
tool.
it's used as a tool to create this massive divide, man.
And the fact that they use religion proves religion is good because you need something good in order to convince people. That's all it is.
It's people have lost faith and people have lost touch with God. That's what it is.
Yeah. And forgive me, I read this passage. I love Dostoevsky. And there's 2 brothers talking. One is Ivan. His name is Ivan, one of the characters. And he's an atheist. And he believes morality is subjective and my opinion and my whatever. And then who takes offense at Ivan for thinking he can corrupt people? So then he has this hallucination and he meets Satan. Satan's like, you think you can deceive people? I've been doing this before you. You think you can corrupt people without me? When you want to corrupt people, you come to me first. You come ask me. So then what does Satan say? He's like, make people forget God. If you want to destroy society, make people forget God because then morality will become subjective and anything goes. That was what the devil told Ivan. Make people forget God and you will destroy society. It's simple as that because then you'll have no morality and anything goes. And yeah, he removed God and that's why people behave the way they do because they don't have God in their lives. Yeah. You know who has God in their lives? Iran, shout out.
Quick thing, guys. We also have this comment.
What are we at? You got to make it bigger so so my blind eyes can see.
There you go.
Oh, I hope this podcast lasts long, man. Very interesting. Very interesting.
And my whole family.
MashaAllah, 15.
Oh, period. Me and my whole family. Listen, punctuation helps a lot, guys.
Are all 15, 16 of you subscribed to us?
Ooh.
You should be.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support.
Thank you, James. Thank you, James. Appreciate it, brother. But yeah, dude, this is what podcasts are about. And we've mentioned this on so many other episodes. And we actually mentioned it last week as well, where it's sitting down, having open dialogue with people, having long form conversations where it's not scripted. There's no BS. And
So what's that teleprompter over there?
what teleprompter? Put it away. Didn't I tell you guys put the goddamn teleprompter? That's what it is. That's why when we invite certain people on and they, I don't want to say ghost us, but they second guess coming on, one of the first questions they say is, how long is it and what are we going to be talking about? It's like, dude, we're inviting you because we're interested in your story and we want to have a conversation with you. That's what it is. You know, thank God we're able to put this on different platforms and have people tune in live or pre-recorded and listen to it and watch it to find out who this person truly is outside of a 15 to 20 second reel.
Yeah.
Hussein's been on for like 4 hours now. by the
4
way, guys,
hours.
if you
This
don't know.
is you're about to break a record with the Wise Nuts, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
You're about to break.
I hope I'm not talking too much and not blabbing too
You're
much.
almost one of us now.
Yes, sir. It'd be my pleasure.
Are you going to be
I wish.
moving to Cali?
Inshallah, maybe this summer. I'm thinking of it.
Oh,
Leave Florida. Come out here. We'll
Leave
see what's
Florida. How do you like Florida, by the way?
up. Man, I have a lot to say about Florida.
Tell us. You know, we're trying to get the guy who's running for mayor on. James, what's his name again? James.
Blackfish or
Listen, I just
Fishback?
wish-
Yes, Fishbeck.
Fishback. Yeah.
Fishback. James
Yeah.
Fishback. We're trying to get him on.
Yeah, that would be an interesting conversation. I like his policies.
Very interesting
And
policies.
it's just the culture, you know. I like it when the guy looks the part, you know.
Meaning,
I like it when the guy looks the part, man. I like it when the guy looks the part. And it just does a lot for the messaging and it does a lot for the culture. And he looks like a nerd, you know?
so
I don't mean that as an
what
insult,
You,
you
so
know,
you
but
want him over DeSantis?
Oh, 100%. But I just wish he looked the part. He needs to go to the gym. That's all I'm saying. You want a guy to lead you who looks the part. Who looks the part. And, but that would be my only criticism.
But hold on.
Otherwise,
Does DeSantis look the part?
because his policy, I can't even look at him. No, because his policies are completely, he's a slave to Zionists. He's signing in laws against anti-Zionist speech in Israel for Floridians twice. He's writing laws for Floridians
So,
to not for anti-Semitic speech.
Newsom's not doing that. I guess we're winning.
You know the point of what you guys are doing.
Oh, give
I
it
guess I'm
time,
going to
give it
vote for
time, give it
president
time.
for him. Huh?
You know what you guys are doing that's so amazing? You guys know this guy, Cavicular? This is online streamer.
Yeah, I
He's
heard-
a very
I heard about
popular
him.
guy.
Yeah, we've heard of him.
And all the money behind JD Vance, all the support from the Peter Thiels and everyone else. Cavicular, who's like supposedly conservative, right wing, like he lands in that camp. He isn't really, but like, you know, he's like, you could make the argument he's like supporting what Tucker is saying, for example.
Yeah.
So he was asked, who are you going to vote for? You're going to vote for JD Vance or Newsom here? And the guy was surprised because he said, oh, I'm going to vote for Newsom. He's like, why? Because he's like, Newsom mogs JD Vance. He looks the part. He's blonde. His wife is blonde. His kids are blonde. Whereas JD Vance, he's married to an Indian. His kids are Indian and he's fat. But that one cultural impression shifted the whole culture where now people are thinking, you know what? Based just on how Newsom looks, maybe we're going to vote for Newsom.
Yeah, but look
And
what Newsom has done to
I'm
California,
not saying he's
man.
great, but it's the importance of like having the look to go along with
Well,
the
that's
message.
how JFK
And
won.
that one
Yes,
kid under
exactly.
that one
he did
kid.
against Nixon.
Yeah, JFK won because
yeah,
of
you know about that, right? The JFK story with Nixon.
No, go ahead.
So back when JFK was running for president, the first, well, obviously the first time, but okay. So when JFK was running for president, he was running against Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon, Republican, JFK, Democrat.
Right.
They did the whole presidential debate, but they did it in two different formats. They did a traditional radio format, and then they did the first ever televised debate. On TV, JFK won. On radio, Nixon won.
Yeah.
So that kind of tells you, it was kind of like, holy crap, are we going in a new industry, new era of debating now? And you have to look a certain way
But-
because everybody was looking at JFK and they're like, wow, you know, handsome, strapping, good looking guy. And then Nixon was sweating. He was just like a mess. He wasn't used to the whole TV sort of thing. And Nixon lost.
If you're going into war, you want the general to be a man. You want the general to be a man. That's how it used to be. The king was at the front. The general was at the front. You know who's at the front? Sayyid Ali Khamenei. You know who's at the front? Sayyid Hassan in Lebanon. Why are they the monsters? Why isn't Trump at the front? It seems like a ridiculous question, but that's how all wars were always fought. They were at the front. And I'm going to ask you something. What's his name? Trump, when he's talking about the people, the soldiers that were killed, and then or Charlie Kirk when he was killed, he just moves on and he goes on to something else and he makes some dumb joke. Sayyid Hassan, who we call a monster, when his son was killed fighting, he put his son on the line to fight Zionism. And when his son was killed, you know what he said? He's like, finally, when I enter the homes of parents who lost their sons fighting this war, I don't have to look at the ground. I can at least look at them in the eye. Because before I was embarrassed to even look at them. They sacrificed for this cause, whereas I haven't. You're going to compare this leader with what Trump? I want to see Jared Kushner go.
No way, man.
No, but you see, why are they the bad guys?
Oh yeah, I would pay for that.
Why is Jared Kushner even going there to negotiate anything?
Because he's the new Epstein. You think there's one Epstein in this world? You think there's one Epstein? Jared is the clean-cut Epstein. You think there's one of these guys? Witkoff. These people, there's many of them, and they're all operating. Epstein was one, and they have, unfortunately, I don't think change is done a lot by popular masses.
Yeah, but Epstein
I think
was
a lot
Epstein
of time
was
is
like
done
a
infighting by the upper classes.
But Epstein was a Mossad, or allegedly a Mossad agent who infiltrated the American political government.
He was American. He was an American. But guess what? The American ambassador in Israel is sitting with who?
Bro,
Who's he sitting with? Who?
Huckabee?
Who is he sitting with?
Tucker.
Not Tucker. Before that, with the Israeli American citizen who was spying on America. And he was sitting with him in the American embassy in Israel.
Jeffrey Epstein
What's his name? Do you guys know that name of that guy that sold the nuclear weapons of America to Israel? He's an American, and he did 30 years in jail here. He was released. He went to Israel, and then Mike Huckabee went and sits with him.
That's
not
look that
treacherous?
Who was that? What was that guy's name again? Really quickly, just Google it. No, you don't need to put it on the screen. Just Google. Oh my God, what was his name, bro? It was literally on the tip of my tongue. Type in served 30 years selling weapons to Israel.
Just write the American biggest spy. It'll come up. America's biggest secret spy.
America's spy sold
traitor. America's biggest traitor.
I know who you're talking about. Hold on 1 second.
By the way,
Don't go to images.
Sold to Israel.
it looks like
Not Benedict Arnold.
No, Benedict Arnold was a different traitor. Don't type in traitor. Type in exactly what we mentioned. American who sold weapons
to Israel.
Weapons and secrets to Israel for 30 years and served for 30 years.
He even threatened to nuke America if we don't do what they want in an interview.
Served 30 years?
30 years
and
in
he
jail.
sat with Huckabee in an American embassy.
Let's see.
What was his name?
Jonathan Pollard?
Jonathan Pollard. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's right. But see,
Jonathan Pollard, that's not treason? And people ask Sayyid Ali Khamenei, why was his daughter with him? Why was his daughter-in-law with him? Why was his grandchildren with him? Because they're not like Kushner. The reason they were with him is because they love him. And his life was always in danger. So they said, if we didn't see him when he was in danger, guess what? We would never see him. We would rather leave this world with him than stay without him. Does Trump have that kind of loyalty from Jared Kushner and Ivanka? Would they sit with him? Would they sit with him?
in jail?
In jail? Would
No
they
way.
sit with him under the threat of being bombed?
I don't think so.
So I don't respect this. I don't respect it. These people, they are willing to do what these original founding fathers did. They're willing, give me liberty or give me death. We have to, and amazingly enough, Americans are realizing it. And what you're doing is helping promote that. And I was speaking with these white guys, the white guys I mentioned before from the Evicted podcast. And they, because you were talking about hearing the other side. So these guys are white Christian nationalists, okay? And they even said to me, yeah, we don't want you here, Hussein, even though I've been here since I was 5. But I didn't take it as a personal insult because I understand where they're coming from. What they're saying is we want to preserve our culture. What they're saying is we want to preserve our language.
Oh, what's your culture though?
But
They're probably a bunch of Irish or Scottish or
But-
German
but I'll
mutts
tell you,
that came to America.
No, but I'll tell
What
you
is the culture?
I'll tell you, I'm the same as them. Why? You guys are the same as them because you want to preserve your children's Armenian roots, right? So their attack on me, I feel, is misguided and I feel is unfair. But below that, because I'm not going to take it as a personal insult. I understand their perspective, and guess what ended up happening? We had a beautiful conversation. The problem is right away we take things as insults. But if you take a second to realize where that person's coming from, you'll realize, well, you know what? I'm the same. I want my kids to speak Arabic. I want my kids to hold on to their faith. So actually I have a lot in common with him. Yeah, I don't agree that I should go back because what is going back for me? I've been here since I was 5. Like when I go there, guess what?
Bro, you lived most of your life here than you have in Lebanon.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
like,
but I think what
but I'm just saying you have to always be understanding. Don't take it as a personal insult when someone disagrees with you. Because if you only know your side of an argument, then you don't even know.
It's not a
you don't know
personal-
much of it at all. You know.
It's not a personal insult, but it's kind of like bringing him back to reality, kind of like where he says, we want to preserve our culture. We want you to go back. It's like, all right, you want to preserve your culture, right? Let's go back 100 years. Let's go back 200 years. Where are your ancestors from? Why didn't your ancestors preserve the German culture, the Scottish culture, the Irish culture, the Italian culture? Bro, these guys are all mutts, man. And look, we live in I'm gonna say it. We live in the greatest country in the world. I myself, Armun, Joe, we all identify as Armenians, but we're Americans at the end of the day because we've lived most of our life here. I mean, Joe was born here. Joe is the only one that could actually run for president.
Pretty much, they call me Tegati in Armenian.
Yeah, but our heart, our soul is Armenian.
Yeah.
We want our children to speak Armenian. We want our children to understand our culture, our faith, our beliefs, our morals, our values, our principles. We want all that. Why? Because we understand how important what our people have gone through and like the history behind our culture.
But I don't think that's what they're referring to. I don't know. I think they're more referring to.
No, they were telling him to leave the country.
But on a foundational level, they're just talking about preserving what their
because
background is. And the same way I do. I disagree for all the reasons that you said. But I'm just saying I understand their perspective because I want to do the same.
No, they want what they want. Again, I don't know who these guys are, but
they want to eat cheeseburgers and hot dogs and watch baseball. That's what they want.
No. But look, for example, go to some of these European countries. Go to London today. Okay, go to London. See how many foreigners have assimilated to the British culture.
Okay,
not very many of them. I think that's what they're referring to because you go over there. I was there recently, but was it 2 summers ago, and I'm walking at the center of London near Harrods, which is the most popular mall in probably all of Europe, maybe.
Yeah.
And there's people out there with their speakers, singing Arabic and Turkish and everything but English. And the point of some of these, I think, comments, it's not a disrespect to you, your religion, your foundation or anything. It's more so about, it's no different than when people from California move out to Arizona, Texas, and they want to start voting for California policies. Why? Why'd you leave California then? Don't go to Texas and vote for liberal policies. If you're escaping California, just stay here. Same thing. You're moving to London, you're moving to LA, you have to assimilate. Yes. Have you not assimilated? You're Armenian, but you've assimilated, you've become American.
Because I respect the country that gave me the opportunities it gave me.
Yes.
Like my dad, when we came here, he says, we're coming to America for a better life. We're leaving the communists. We're coming here for a better life. We're here. Look, we're all here in this world temporarily. We're all going to be gone soon. But for right now, we're living here. We respect the morals, the values, and the principles of this country and the laws of this country. Yeah, you're able to change certain laws by voting for it. And if you don't like it, then you could leave. But whatever laws and bills, whatever is presented to you for this country, respect it, follow them, and everything will be fine. And thank God, we've done pretty well for ourselves.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm just simply saying if you take a second to listen to what the other person is saying, you can understand the foundation of what they mean. So even though they were coming at me to some extent, on a deeper level, they're just saying they want to preserve their heritage. In the same way that I want to preserve my heritage. They want to preserve their heritage on the same way that I want to preserve my heritage, even though I disagree with how they're directing their action and their intention. With Britain, the issue shouldn't be with the immigrants, be with the government that has these policies. And same with these younger brothers, the issue shouldn't be with me. Have an issue with the policies that promote this kind of immigration. But in the same way they want to protect their heritage, I understand that. That's the point. So I didn't take it as a personal insult. I simply understood where they're coming from. And when you come in a conversation like that, you can explore, you can understand, you can go a long way. And I think that's the healthiest approach to have. And you don't want to always agree with everyone.
But you've assimilated to the culture here, haven't you?
I've been here since I was 5.
Exactly.
I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, you have your favorite basketball team, don't you? Or your football team or your soccer team or your hockey team, don't you?
Yeah, but like, this is to some extent my culture because this is what, so I'm a hybrid, right? Of both. And
the roots are Lebanese,
so
but the bark and the tree is an American tree.
That's why I disagree with them.
You've planted your seed and you've grown.
Yeah, that's why I disagree. What are you gonna do? What do you want? Like, I didn't come here.
But that's what everybody is. Out of the 350 million people living here, who's American?
Well, that's why I'm saying. That's why I argue the fact where they say, this is our country and we're trying to preserve it. It's like, all right, bro, I get it. You're trying to preserve it, but it's like
under that, I just understood that point with disagreeing with everything else.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, you can move the conversation forward. And then on other issues, we agreed.
Bro,
hating Zionists and understanding the biggest
threat. Did you guys both hate Zionists equally?
Right. Because that's the biggest threat facing America. He recognizes, I recognize that. And based on that, you move forward.
I think not only the United States, but the world is waking up to this infiltration of all their countries. And they're realizing that who the true enemy is. Because if things continue the way they're continuing, we're all fucking doomed.
We're done. If Iran falls, done. There will be no resistance against Israeli Zionism. That's it. We're subjugated. That's it. It's over. That's it. They're going to use the American military as their arms.
Well, they have been using the American military.
They have been, and they continue doing even more.
I'm just curious why the American media isn't showing what's happening in Tel Aviv and other spots of Israel, other cities in Israel.
They say free speech and they say they're the only democracy, but they don't behave that way on many levels.
It's like, dude, just show us what's happening. Be transparent with us. But all we see is, well, we just took out a bunch of nuclear areas of Iran. We took out a bunch of missile bases. We took out a boat. We took out this. We took out that. It's like, all right, so is it like 10-0, 20-0, 30-0, 40-0? We're doing fine. We haven't lost any military, no bases, no planes, no jets, no boats, nothing.
There was a report that came out after Trump said Mohammed bin Salman kisses his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mohammed bin Salman took offense to that. So he leaked images of American planes bombed in Saudi Arabia.
I think there's more.
Oh, there's definitely more than that we're being
told.
Oh, absolutely.
I heard there's bases in Saudi. There was bases in Kuwait. There was bases obviously in Israel. There was bases in Syria. There was bases in Iraq that were like really, really badly damaged, but they're not letting the media
cover
show any of it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, it's deceiving to everybody. It's telling us, so what, are you giving us false hope? Are we losing the war?
So I want a few guys looking at an Iranian soldier defending his sovereignty in his country against Zionism that's threat to America. Do you view them as terrorists or as patriots or as sacrificial or as good or as bad?
Them who?
The Iranian soldiers.
They're fighting for their country.
Look, again, it's all a psychological warfare.
Exactly.
Everybody has their propaganda, and that's the part. It's like, unless you, just like, for example, people from around the world, even most people around the country have never visited LA, right? Most Americans in the United States have never been to LA. Somehow we think everybody's been to Hollywood. Most people have not. But so they're used to seeing what? They're used to seeing the Hollywood movies, the Chinese theater and the Walk of Fame and everything else that we have in downtown LA. We've been here for 40 years. I've never walked on the Walk of Fame because you just don't want to go walk on the Walk of Fame. It's not a place to be.
Well, you don't want to get stabbed.
Yeah, but
And the smell of piss doesn't interest you.
exactly. So, but if you talk to people around the world, man, Hollywood, bro, Hollywood, LA, yeah, come see it. Come see it for yourself. So, my point is, whatever's happening via Iran, Israel, Palestine, anywhere around the world, we have. That's the thing. I don't think we have an idea of truly what's happening.
Yeah.
What are they fighting for? Who's for it? Who's against it? We see what they want us to see from all sides. And that's the issue. That's where it's like, it's tough to agree. When you ask me, well, do you think the Iranian soldiers, I don't know what they're fighting for, because truly, is that what they're fighting for?
Well, technically, they are fighting for their country, but it's like for the better of what, though? And then you see the people in West Hollywood and in Brentwood with the other Iranian flag, the flag with the lion and the sword. And you go, okay, so these are Iranians as well, and they want the Khamenei out and they want the Shah back in. And then you go, all right, so let's go to Telegram. Telegram shows, Telegram is showing that the Islamic Republic of Iran actually wants the Khamenei to remain in power. And then you go to WhatsApp, and then WhatsApp says, no, fuck that guy. We want the Shah back in. So it's kind of like teeter-totter as far as, okay, what's really happening here? Who do these people really want? Iran has a population of 92 million people on paper, but on ChatGPT and certain AI outlets, it says 80% of the people want the Khamenei out. And then you look at the news outlets, it says, well, no, actually it's a 50-50 split. And then you look at somewhere else, it says, well, no, it's a 60-40 split. You don't know what to believe anymore. That's why these guys know what they're doing, just like the president, where he's not elected, he's selected. This is all a game that they're playing where they know who will be removed from here and who will be replaced with him, and how they'll play this geopolitical bullshit. Like, it's
only the people suffer, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're the only ones. Like, the cost of our our living cost has skyrocketed because of some fucking war thousands of miles away.
For who?
Overseas. For who? For who, bro? You know what? Come fix the fucking homeless crisis in Los Angeles, where I don't have to drive past the 405 and see some homeless guy vaccinating his buddy underneath the passage. Come fix that shit. Or my daughter has to go, Papa, why is he living in a tent? Well, you know, he made this little
Tents are cheaper than mortgage.
little Bobby here decided to vaccinate little Timmy over here with a certain substance that was implanted into our system, which got him addicted to that. Like, why?
enough problems
Why? Why do I have to call the city of Los Angeles and tell them, hey, there's another fucking homeless guy who nailed his tent to my building. Can you come and remove him? It goes, well, is he bothering anybody? No. Has he sprayed any graffiti anywhere? No. Well, if he's not a nuisance, we can't remove him. It's his right to be homeless.
Well, don't you remember the interview with Rick Ross? How he was working with the FBI or CIA?
CIA.
He didn't even know about it.
He didn't even know because unfortunately he was illiterate at the time. He didn't know how to read, and he was basically a plant by the CIA. He was one of the biggest drug lords, and he didn't even know about it. Do you know about the story of Rick Ross?
I heard it on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he was on. He was on with us as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he
Okay.
was on with us as well, and I'll send you that one.
Well, he was on with us first, and then Joe Rogan called us and said, "Hey, can you hook us up?"
You connect
I
us
don't
with.
doubt it. I don't doubt it. But yeah.
Oh man, how long are we in, Joe?
We're only in about an hour and 30. We're good though.
Hour 30?
I mean, if you guys are up to
High
it.
guy seems to think we bash Israel way too much.
No, high guy is not high guy. High guy is either an Israeli or Azerbaijani, pretend to be high.
Well, he's more than welcome to call in, and
innocent.
we can hear his voice, see if he's high guy or whatever guy he is. I
What
don't
he
know.
says that we're
Absolutely.
bashing
I don't
Israel
understand
too
this
much?
joke. What is this? The
No,
last
there's a
gorilla
lot
is
more than-
innocent of any ankle monitor.
Oh, that guy.
allegations.
Oh, Sepp is watching live from a Tarzana Mental Institute.
That's very true.
It's
yes.
like-
Brother, I'm an outlaw.
he's in a straitjacket as he watches us.
We have an interesting crowd for you.
Typing with his toes.
No, you can speak into it now. So, yeah, you don't need to.
Thanks, got the technology.
Oh, jeez.
Technology.
Dude, we've been on with you for
Yeah,
close
we've
to
been
4
on for a
hours.
while.
Is there anything that you want to kind of chime in on and cover before we call it a night?
Or wait a minute, we put the gas prices thing up. What about that?
I mean, we talked about the cost of living. We could
Listen,
change all
gas
that.
prices doesn't affect me. I fill up $40 regardless.
I want the gas prices to rocket. I want Americans to feel the reality
What
of
is
war.
what are the gas prices in Florida right now?
$3.
No, it's not.
Maybe $3.50. I can't remember.
No, man. The other day, Tom was saying he filled it up. It was like $5.89 or something.
I'm not in Miami. Maybe in Miami.
What part of Florida are you in?
I'm in Tampa.
So Tampa's cheaper.
I don't remember.
Did you go to the
It was like $3.50.
Saturday? There was the RAF in Tampa, the wrestling. Arman Sarukian was fighting.
No, I was in Michigan.
Okay.
Dearborn. The Muslim takeover in Michigan. But I just really want Americans to feel some pressure.
How much more pressure are we supposed to feel?
No, because
bro?
they don't.
What are you talking about, bro?
What are you talking
like
about?
a zit,
It's
bro.
it's a blessing
Come
that
move
we're
to-
between these two oceans.
Come move to LA.
But-
Come move to LA for like.
But it's like they don't feel the reality of war. They don't feel that.
No,
they
we're
don't
paying
feel the reality of
$7
war.
an egg. We don't
And
feel it.
the reality of war is felt just with gas prices, and it's like
It's more financial.
Bro, it's not on gas prices. LA's cost of living is ridiculous, man. From our Costco runs to our just regular shopping sprees, bro.
I know, but
It's
part of it,
really
like
bad.
to me, is almost insensitive. Like imagine like a Lebanese mother who just lost her daughter, and I'm gonna complain to her about gas prices. And then she's like, "Yeah, but I lost my daughter." But yeah, but I'm paying 50 cents
Look,
extra.
look,
But yeah, I know,
Apples and oranges.
I know, but
Hussein,
I'm paying
apples and
50% more.
Hussein,
Okay, stop being selfish.
Hussein,
I'm
apples and
talking
oranges.
about my gas prices. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but that's apples and
But
oranges.
no,
It's completely two different.
It is two different things. We're not. We need to. Yeah, I'm not.
No,
no one's being insensitive to what's going on.
Nobody ever wants
Yeah,
that
but it's
anywhere,
like-
man.
it's-
Look, we felt it on our skins during 9/11 when we were attacked. But again, that's another story in its complete
Our-
own.
our- tough, bro.
Just for
Tough.
me, it's like I want to shift the conversation from the smaller issue, which is gas prices, which is considerable, to the bigger issue is like we're killing people there for Zionists. Like if people can focus on the bigger threat that America faces due to this Zionist takeover, yeah, we could
So
talk
what's
about
your
the
solution?
gas. We could
Do you vote out these?
we
these,
can talk on the gas. We can talk on it, but people then get sucked into these smaller issues and disregard the much greater issues.
So do you
and
do you
that's
trust the
always my
voting
concern
system?
with the gas thing.
Do you trust the voting system?
No,
here?
there's no such thing.
So
as
then what?
no.
So then what do you do?
The voting system.
Because
What
all
I believe in,
these
I
congressmen,
can't-
these senators, these
Yeah, there's-
assembly members, a lot of them are paid for, right, by these certain lobbyist
Yeah,
organizations.
there's only one way things have ever gotten. I have to be careful with how I say this. There's
Yeah.
only one way anything.
This is live, remember, man.
Yeah, it is only one way anything ever changes,
Don't say it, bro.
and that's the way things are done. And if that's the only way things are ever change. I'm hoping it doesn't get there. I'm hoping because we're at a place where we have so much rights that people previous have a sacrifice for. All we have to do is say no.
If that happens, it'll be the collapse of America.
No, we could just say no. We don't need to do the other thing. But if people just simply go on the street and say, listen, we voted for you, Donald Trump, for not crazy things. Instead of lowering house prices, he said he's going to increase the housing pricing. Do you guys remember that statement? He made that like 2-3 months ago.
How is he going to increase the housing?
Because he wants people to make a return on their investment on their house. So he wants to raise the cost of housing. But then what about people trying to buy in? He literally said that.
Oh, you can't do that.
That's
though.
exactly what he said.
But hold on.
That's
How
exactly
do
what he
you
said.
do that?
He just wants to make the cost of houses more expensive.
No, that's not how
to
it-
increase their portfolio.
No,
he
but
wants to
that's not-
protect their investment. That's literally what he's. I'm not saying he's right.
But
That's what he
that's
said.
not how it works, though.
But
housing. The reason why
By the way,
I say,
he is in real estate.
that's what I do
But
for
that's
a
what
living.
he said.
But you can't do. Look, the housing crisis right now, or the housing shortage that we have right now, was all done in 2020 because of COVID.
Yeah.
All this money that was pumped into the economy, and the interest rates dropped to the 2s, into the low 3s even. Everybody refinanced, everybody bought, everybody pulled a bunch of money out, HELOCs, and then all of a sudden in 2022, the interest rate went up to 7.5%. And then all of a sudden, that first time home or that starter home that you bought, you're like, oh shit, bro, if I sell this and if I go buy something else, even though I've built a shit ton of equity in it, my payment's going to be 3-4 times the
Exactly.
amount. So what they did is they realized what was happening. They were like, shit, COVID is here. We thought the market's crashing. We're like, oh, there it is. It's happening, guys. Buckle up. Complete opposite happened. Now, with an artificial supply and demand, bro, we're not going to see anything anytime
Absolutely.
soon.
But I'm not defending Trump.
The cost
That's just
of
simply
living,
what he
the
said.
cost of living is what's going to cause
Yeah.
possibly a a decrease in prices because people can't afford
it. No one could afford
Yeah, as you mentioned before, barbers and butchers could afford mechanics could buy a home, bro,
and 2 cars and vacation once a year and 4 kids and
yeah.
No, how is that going to change it? I don't know. If they, let's say prices go down 20%, that doesn't change anything.
It can't be 20%. It has to be more than
It
that.
has
The only way it's
more.
going to be 50% is if they build a couple million homes over the next 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, but
That's the only way it's
build homes. Look, Porter Ranch stopped building there, and then now they're in Santa Clarita. But then Santa Clarita, they started building there, and they're like, all right, you know what?
But they're building it at the high price. That's the issue.
So then exactly. So this is all. Look, it's all supply and demand. When people stop buying and more homes begin to sit on the market for a longer time, that's when the price sellers will come to a reality and say, hey, listen,
Look,
well, my house isn't selling for 1.5 million. Let me drop it down to 1.4. Nobody's buying at 1.4.
If the federal government wrote a check to California for, I mean, not even $5 billion, okay? How many homes can they build for $800,000? Do the math.
Depends on how much a square foot costs.
Well, again, it's a subsidy, right? So federal government's paying for it, which means the developers, the big developers out there, will be subsidized. So instead of 400, 500 square feet, they can build it for $100, $200 a square feet, right? So if we take $5 billion, okay,
So we're not sending this overseas?
that's after we send 15 billion overseas.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So just wanted to make sure. So of the 20 billion,
I think the viewers want to hear us like make fun of Jews again.
That's over 6,000 homes you can build, right?
Okay.
Over 6,000 homes you can build at $800,000.
it's not enough.
Do the Jews own all the
I'm
homes?
not talking about the country. I'm talking about California, specifically LA. You don't think that's going to make a difference?
I'm trying, Joseph. I'm trying, brother.
The supply and demand is also depending on the area as well. People want to live in specific areas.
Okay, so
There's a bunch of homes in Lancaster and Palmdale for sale. Why aren't people buying there?
because there's no jobs over there. Bro, I post an ad for a receptionist. I get an application from Lancaster.
Wow, jeez. I didn't know
I'm not
that.
kidding. And this has been the case for 15 years.
Yeah, Lancaster's like a ghetto area of LA, by the way.
It's Inland Empire.
That's where I belong.
That's where you belong?
No, that's
Ghetto.
Is that Antelope Valley?
Antelope
not,
Valley.
not Inland Empire.
Yeah.
Antelope Valley.
Antelope Valley.
But that's the only way it's going to work. Otherwise, when you say prices can't go up, they can easily manipulate the prices by what? Giving BlackRock an opportunity to come in.
Well,
and buy.
everybody go enjoy your $12 to $13,000 mortgages. I don't know how you guys are paying it.
I don't
Moving
know.
on,
You're
what do you
the
think?
real estate. I don't know. You see their bank statements.
All right, well,
I don't.
they want to talk about the Zionist movement.
No, not just that. What do you think the barrel's going to be?
The what?
The barrel,
Meaning?
every for oil per barrel. What the price?
Well, everybody was talking about $20 a barrel, right? Or I'm sorry, $200 a barrel.
No, Iran said it could go up to 200.
They were saying it was going to go
Yeah.
up to 200, but it's not.
Well, it's not because they're still controlling. They haven't. The only way it was going to go there if they shut down the. Is it Strait of Hormuz or what's it called?
Yeah, straight up.
The gay of Hormuz.
Game of
The bi of Hormuz.
Yes.
The trans of
The
our
trans, the LGBT of Hormuz, not the straight. The interesting thing about this war that's different than other wars, going back to propaganda, it's become a meme war. It's a
Yeah.
war of memes. And the Iranians are like, they're just winning that battle. The way they're doing these memes and the way they're trolling.
But look,
They're
I'm seeing
trolling
it on
other
both
guys.
ends, though.
They're
I'm seeing it on both ends.
They're trolling Trump.
I know,
they're trolling. Did you hear what the IRGC spokesperson
But they're
said?
doing it to
Trump.
the IRGC as well, man.
But they're not nearly as good. They're not nearly as funny.
Go refresh your algorithm. And
I've
start
been watching.
Go and like the other post and then refresh your
Have
algorithm.
you seen the Lego ones?
It'll be
They're
the
hilarious.
opposite.
I saw the spokesperson for the IRGC. He says, "Hey, Trump, you are familiar with this. You are fired. Thank you for paying attention to this matter." And it's just like they're in the meme war, in the trolling war. Did you see the names they're putting on missiles? They put the name of Rachel Corrie, who's an American activist who was killed by Israel. They ran over her body with a bulldozer. You know who's defending her? Not the American government. On an Iranian missile, they put, "In revenge for Rachel Corrie." In revenge for Rachel Corrie. They're defending the memory and the sacrifice of Rachel Corrie. I would love to know how Rachel Corrie's parents feels about that.
Look, what
That
I
the
would
Iranian
do,
government is defending her honor.
what I
and
would do
honoring
when
her
you see
sacrifice.
those images,
They're winning. No, those are real. Those are real.
Did you
I
run a
know
fact
that, yeah.
check? No. Did you run it? Because
Yeah,
I've seen
I did.
a dozen images like that where on a missile it says something.
This one is real.
Even in Iranian,
No, this one is real.
I run it and it translates into something else.
This is like a whole campaign that they're using.
What was her name again? Rachel
Corrie. She was killed by Israeli bulldozers. They ran over her body when she was protesting outside of a Palestinian home that they're about to demolish. And Iran came out with this missile that said, in revenge for Rachel Corrie. And it's just like they're winning. In the troll game,
and you don't think
and
they're
in the meme
intentionally
game,
doing
no
that
one's
too?
touching them. Sorry?
That's a social media psychological
Yeah,
war
that's what
too.
they're doing. Yeah,
Warfare
this
right?
meme trolling thing is a new aspect of warfare that we've never seen before.
Okay,
And it's really interesting.
It's a meme.
What's a meme?
That
No, it's not.
It's not
Maybe
real.
that's saying it, but I confirmed it. I can guarantee you.
Multiple sources are saying that it's not real. It's fake.
What is not real?
That her name was never written on the missile.
According to, I have sources that I can guarantee that's real. And regardless of that specific thing, but in general.
What are you checking on?
Gronk.
No, my goodness, brother. Who writes Gronk?
You want me to check on Gemini?
I'm talking to people. I know people.
Let's not.
Listen, I know. I'm telling you, this thing is confirmed.
Because I know apparently I can't check on ChatGPT because ChatGPT is infiltrated as well. But I could Google it in Gemini.
They even have other missiles like in revenge for the Epstein victims. In revenge, and this is like a campaign that they're purposely using.
I think that's propaganda.
No,
It's a
brother.
meme.
I'll send you the proof.
Please.
Joe, are you
I
able
will.
to play that Instagram clip?
Which one?
The one I sent you
just
about
texted
the
it.
And the thing is, I have
You just sent
access
it?
to Middle
On
Eastern news,
WhatsApp.
and I have access to news
Let me
from
see.
Lebanon.
I do as well. We check on our on through our Telegram as well. By the way, follow our X channel. A lot of the stuff is posted on our X and Facebook actually.
I
News
still can't
and
call it X, dude.
I know,
It
bro.
just
It's
sounds
so
weird.
difficult. But we post stuff there, and it's non-biased. It's literally on. We speak on both ends as far as news that's being delivered from the grounds, basically on the grounds. So, but that missile stuff, I think that's propaganda.
I'll show you the proof.
I would love
after.
to see it. I would love to see it. I think that sounds silly.
It's no different than
putting that shit on that missile and sending it over.
I'll tell you why they did it. Because Israeli children would sign signatures when they were bombing Palestine and Lebanon.
So what? They
And
took
so-
pictures of the missile prior to sending it off.
Yes, before sending it off. Even the Israelis, that comedian you had, from Egypt, the doctor, the surgeon.
Well, no, we haven't had him yet. Are you
Oh,
talking about?
sorry.
Yeah. He's
That surgeon.
April. He's going to be.
So he had Israeli missiles, like saying they would sign his name on it before they were sending him to Gaza.
Bassem Youssef.
Bassem Youssef.
Really?
Yeah. So they would. So this started on this side, and then the other side just has way better trolls. Like no one's gonna. I mean, so
I would love to see proof of that. Just because
the
I
Israelis
find-
ones are for sure confirmed, and so is the other ones. But they're all out there. Ask Bassem Youssef about it.
Really.
Yeah, 100%.
When Bassem is on with us, we'll talk about that as well. I don't know why I find it hard to believe that they would put the time and effort to writing.
Oh, they are because they
all that
understand
shit.
the culture war. They understand this is a culture war.
So silly.
They understand this is a war being had in the digital space. They understand this is a war being had online. That's why they're making this conscious cultural effort. That's where the change is going to be made. It's not going to be made by politicians that are part of the swamp.
Yeah.
It's not going to be made by lawyers. It's not going to be made by it's going to be made by a mass cultural conscious movement of people simply saying no.
So based on
That's all
what
it
you've been
takes.
seeing
just
on,
no.
So based on
That's
what
the
you've been
hope I
seeing,
have.
based on what you've been seeing online and through different platforms, as far as Telegram and WhatsApp and whatever, what do you truly believe is going to be happening? Do you think the IRGC and the Iranian regime will fall?
My personal hope.
No, don't be biased. I'm
not being biased.
Based on what you're
Yeah,
seeing,
I'm not
what
being-
do you think is really going to happen?
From what I see online and from what I see on the news outlets and from what I see from reports and what the politicians are saying, it looks like Iran is winning this war and it looks like they survived this. But does that mean that the Americans and the Israelis will decide to come again in a year and a half? My hope is, all I know is they're on the right side of history, and I hope they come on top of it for their sake, for the sake of the world, and for America's sake.
But do you think the war is going to end and then restart again, or do you think this
It
is just gonna
happened
prolong?
before, it could happen again. And the one thing is, it's not them dying, this Epstein class. It's this Epstein regime. They're persistent. They're relentless. They keep going and going. And when they don't stop, look what they've been doing to Cuba for 60 years. And it looks like Cuba's finally going to fold. And understandably, they're a little island. And they're not getting oil from anyone anymore. They're not getting oil from Venezuela anymore. Venezuela folded. And so I hope Iran doesn't. I'm not going to come out. I'm not one of those types, oh, Iran's going to win no matter what, for sure, 100%. I'm not there. I like you, I'm very skeptical of everything that I also hear, but just from what I do see, and for sure they're winning in the cultural war. Like when you have Nick Fuentes praying for the supreme leader, when you have Nick Fuentes praying for the martyrs, when you have Nick Fuentes saying, I'm praying for the Iranian military that's fighting for America, while America is fighting for Israel.
Fuentes serious, bro. I mean, he's
huge.
He's
guys.
Yeah, but he's a troll, man. I mean, the guy's a white supremacist Nazi,
when you have
man.
Tucker Carlson saying the things he's saying in support of Iran, when you have these mainstream...
Tucker Carlson is saying that let the people of Iran decide. That's what Tucker Carlson is saying. Nick Fuentes is a massive troll who's also a Nazi, very big...
Tucker Carlson is talking about how we need to leave Iran. Leave Iran alone.
Leave them alone. Let them dictate whatever they do.
Candace Owens is saying the same thing. There's so many people.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong.
Let the people decide what they want to do. And again, this goes both ends, where the people in America are out in the streets in West Hollywood and Brentwood waving the Iranian flag saying, thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Netanyahu, for bombing Iran. It's like, bro, it's your fucking country, man.
Strange, huh?
A lot of people are okay with the country being bombed.
So strange.
In order for a regime change to happen. And at the same time, you see the opposite outside in other countries where they say, no, we want the Khamenei in power. So it's like, dude, you know what? Go handle your shit in your country. Just like the Armenian genocide march that happens here, right?
I'm going to say this. I have to say this. Like I've mentioned, I think Iran is winning the war because the whole world is literally against them. The most powerful institutions, the most powerful governments, all the Gulf states, all their neighbors, all the American military bases, all the Zionists, all the Mossad, all the intelligence forces. If they also have their population against them, how are they withstanding all this pressure? It's so hard for me to believe that's even kind of close to being possible.
Bro, I'm just tired of our money being spent overseas.
No, so I think
it's like go and handle your stuff. Stop using our military. Stop sending money overseas. The cost of living here is becoming horrendous. Seriously, like things need to chill out here before.
Yeah, and that's what Trump promised, and that's what he failed on doing.
He's failed. He's
decided to become a Zionist puppet, and it's embarrassing. He's embarrassing, and it's no longer cute, and it's no longer funny.
Well, it's okay. He's building a ballroom.
Embarrassed, yeah. Great point.
With a bunker now.
Yeah.
How did he get those ADU permits?
I don't know, but he's building a bunker underneath, so it's like two floors now.
Oh, you didn't think the White House had a bunker, huh?
No, well, they're updating the bunker now. There's a new bunker being built. He actually mentioned it on Air Force One today.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy.
That's what we're concerned about, the bunker.
Well, I mean, our tax. No, I'm sorry. No tax money was used. This was all donor money. Yeah. Oh, who are the donors? Don't worry about it.
Amazing. When I remember him calling them terrorists, and then I was listening to a speech of his, and he's like, I know words. I know a lot of words. Like, that's how he speaks. He knows words. He knows a lot of words. Maybe a 5-year-old says that. And you compare that with Larajani, who is an academic on Kant and a mathematician. It's like,
bro, I think he's trolling people when
he's not.
He's a smart man.
No, I used to, he's a buffoon. He's a buffoon.
That's all an act. He's very smart. No,
it's not an act. There's a system behind him,
bro,
that uses him, that manipulates him for the cultural pull he has, but he's not. He is actually a doofus.
I think that's a front.
I used to be open to that idea, but seeing the way he behaves, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, he's just a tool by Mark Levine.
Well, mind you, he's 80 years old as well.
And by Ben Shapiro.
How long have you followed Trump, though?
Oh, as a cultural icon, forever.
Okay.
And as a politician since 2016.
Do you ever remember him speaking this way back in the 80s or 90s or 2000s?
It wasn't this animated, no.
Exactly.
It wasn't this animated.
I
used to be open to that idea, but you get older, you get a little whatever.
Bro, he's the biggest troll in the world.
That's true, and even he's losing in trolling. Listen, he's an iconic, huge cultural figure, but I think a lot of that, there's a hadith from Prophet Muhammad, And he says, God,
What's a hadith?
like a teaching, a saying, a tradition from Prophet Muhammad. And I think he's like he symbolizes this perfectly, in which he says, God gives wealth to fools and at times to show the wise that this world is had with luck. He was born into money. He had a lot of luck on his side. And it's to teach wise people that this world is had with luck. And he had it with luck.
Yeah, but he built an empire.
He had $1 million back, God knows when, and his dad is also a millionaire. He just didn't have to ruin it. That's it. That's all. And he did better than other millionaire
But
kids.
he didn't.
But he's
ruin
not.
it.
He's not that.
Look, people talk about all these companies. He's bankrupt. Look, I'm not here to protect Trump in any way. Trump 2016 is not the same Trump as 2024. But what he's accomplished in all these years with all these companies going bankrupt, but the guy's still a billionaire. He's still a billionaire. And you look, if you were a buffoon and you were a moron, if you were stupid, that money would be gone.
He
Just
said,
like majority of
he said, I know words and I know a lot of words.
Bro, come on, man. Go prior to 2016. Go look at some of the interviews with Trump, whether he was on Oprah and he was on all these 60 Minutes and all these different interviews. Look at how he speaks then and look at how he speaks now. Yeah, age may have a factor in it, but when the cameras turn on, that's when he shines, bro. This is all a reality show for him as well. He's trolling everybody. To him,
it is a show. I don't think he has any actual principles. He thinks he's a star and this whole world is his stage. That's the way he operates. I don't even think he knows what he's doing. That's why I don't think he's smart. To him, it's just fun.
Well, he has his handlers as well.
To him, it's fun. He literally said the Golan Heights, I had no idea what it was. Some advisor told him what it was. He's like, okay, yeah, give it to the Israelis. For him, it's just fun. It's a game. It's showmanship. He thinks he's on a reality TV show, and he doesn't think past that.
Well,
that's all it is.
The great thing about
I don't think he's smart. I think he's just an entertaining person.
Regardless of what it is, though, anybody that protects pedophiles or pedos,
exactly,
I don't respect. So.
He's not smart. Yeah. Well, and if he's being manipulated by the Zios to sell it his country, he's not that smart either.
I truly do hope one day that this was all an act, and he turns around and he says,
way gone.
You never know, man. Pulls the rug and says, yeah, you know what?
We can't
here, double birds right there.
We have to look at the reality of what we're seeing. We can't keep thinking he's playing 5D chess. That's not responsible. That's not reasonable.
I want to give
you have to make the judgment based on the facts that you have. And
I want to give myself a little bit of hope. That's what it is.
There's no hope for him. You have to base it on what he's done in the last year. And that's what and even if I'm wrong, I'm right in my conclusion because I'm basing it on the facts of what I see. And that's all you have to go on. I'm not going to do what Charlie, in his heart, in his mind. No. I got to base it on what I see. And what I see, he's completely compromised. Those in his circles are completely compromised. And he's a complete pawn and a puppet to the Zionists. And he sold out America. He sold out himself and the plan he had for this country for Zionists, for the Ellisons, for the Miriam Adelsons, for the Mark Levins, for the Ben Shapiros. And he's kicked out all the mega popular supporters that he had and his whole base that he had. He betrayed his movement in order to support the Zionists. That's just the reality of it is. And, I have to base my assessment on that. It's very clear.
Bro, we got to have you back soon.
Yeah, inshallah, I'd love to be back.
How often do you come to LA?
I might move here. So inshallah, maybe this summer.
It's only a 30-hour flight.
I know a great real estate agent.
Yeah.
He'll get you a $1 million home
maybe,
for 2.3.
Maybe in August, September. Maybe I might consider moving.
Well, you have our info, obviously. It was a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure being here.
Twice.
Pleasure, man. And forgive me if I talk too long or I yelled. I feel like I yell a lot.
We've never had a guest on twice, same day, same week.
I appreciate it. I feel honored.
No, it was
you guys are the best.
Dude, it was a pleasure having you on. Truly, I mean, let me put it to you this way: if the conversation didn't go well the first time, you wouldn't be sitting there right now.
I thought it's because I was hot.
Somewhat.
By the way, for anybody that's commenting, we never bring Jewish guests. Look, we invite them.
They don't come on.
No, what do you mean? We got Ben Azule on.
Okay, that was a long time ago.
The person said I deserve another cigar. I agree with that person. Thank you.
But any of you guys have guest recommendations, Jewish? By all means, connect them to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd love to. What's that rabbi's name? The Rabbi Shmuley?
Oh my goodness.
I've been trying to get a hold of Rabbi Shmuley for years now.
Yeah, anybody. Just
I would love to have Rabbi Shmuley on.
Yeah.
Just to sit down, even 30 minutes. You could walk out, Rabbi Shmuley. We know you're known for walking out of interviews and podcasts. But
Would you ever have Netanyahu on?
Is he around or
If he's around.
Mark Levin would love to have you on.
Same comparison.
Zuckerberg,
Anybody, bro. I mean,
look, we're open to conversation. Sitting down, having an open conversation. That's all it is.
they don't come.
Yeah.
They
But there's some great Jewish
Satan.
guys that are also like a part of this struggle on the right side, like Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate from the Gray Zone. Glenn Greenwald's a personal hero of mine. Like, I admire him. He's Jewish.
we want somebody that's going to completely disagree
But
with
yeah,
us.
that's
It
it. I don't
defeats
know
the
if
Look,
purpose.
we always want to hear the other side of the
Absolutely,
story as
yeah.
well, and obviously to give the questions and find out. Hey, okay, so what if this scenario happens? What if that scenario happens?
Mm-hmm.
This is why we like to play devil's advocate on both sides, just to kind of understand. Okay, so what would happen if this scenario happens? What would happen
Mm-hmm.
if that scenario? When we question Reza Pahlavi as far as the transitional leader, everybody lost their shit. They're like, "Well, you guys are sold by the Azerbaijanis and the Turks are paying you guys." What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
All we're doing is we're asking certain questions.
You know, there's a great quote, and it says, "When all think alike, no one thinks at all." So you want to question your position in order to know that, yeah, I'm actually thinking and I'm processing these ideas. Because if everyone's thinking the same, that means we're all brainwashed into the same position. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Hussein,
Okay.
appreciate you,
It
brother.
was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure having you on. Well, I mean, I said it once in that other episode. I'm going to say it again. Should we have this as like a two-parter?
Yeah, we can. I mean, we'll edit it.
I mean,
into-
4 hours? Do you think people would?
no, not consistent, but different.
We could do a
episodes.
part 1, part 2, basically, huh? At this point. So, okay. Well, this episode will be up and running tomorrow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all major platforms. And then,
Well, no, it'll be running. The live one will continue to run, but
well, that's what I'm saying. This episode will be up and running tomorrow, and
Yeah.
then Wednesday we'll have the part 1 of this
the
episode.
prequel.
Or the prequel running. So if you guys are interested in hearing what we spoke about prior to this live, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all major platforms, subscribe, and you guys will hear that one on Wednesday night at 8 p.m.
Miércoles.
Other than that, have a great week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys all next Monday.